Good evening, everyone. We are live from Weingart Stadium, located on the campus of East Los Angeles College here in Monterey Park for another edition of Husky Football. I'm Albert Robles. Joined with me here is Mark Pavlovich for all the color commentary and bringing the nice, pretty pictures as well. How you doing today, Mark?
It's good. This should be an exciting football game. Conference play starts. So whatever you've done, you've done. You started painting the picture by numbers, and now you've got to freelance. You need to win, or the season shortens very quick on you, Albert, because it's conference time. And remember, taking first and second place from each conference, North, Central, and South, and then they will get rearranged, and that will be the playoffs.
Absolutely. And for those of you wondering, wait a minute, when are Fullerton and East LA in the same conference? Well, that just happened. This is new for this particular season. East LA is now in the same conference as Fullerton. Bit of a shakeup here. Some people are wondering, why would you do that? Well, it happened anyway. Here we are living with it. But East LA comes in with a record of 1-2. Fullerton with an overall record of 2-1. And East LA has elected to receive here to start things off. Back to receive was number 11, Victor Rodriguez. And takes the ball back to about the 20. And we have some extracurricular activities at about the 25-yard line. The helmet comes flying off of running back Michael Rainier Jr.
And that was, well, I thought it was Giannis Dussault, but it's not who took the helmet off. It was Nicholas Sandoval who took the helmet off there.
So Logan Edmond will be the starting QB for East LA, as he has been all throughout this season. Has thrown for over 900 yards so far. And that was a backwards pass, so that'll go down as a run off to Jonathan Alexander at our Rancho Christian High School. Gain of about 4, so 2nd and 6 coming up for East LA. And one of the players to look out on the defensive end of things on Fullerton's side is going to be number 44, Ethan Charpentier. Or Charpentier. I've heard either pronunciation. It's fine.
Charpentier is his name. So Robinson, really on a very good defensive team for Fullerton, comes up and makes the stop on that play.
Here's snap. It'll be another handoff for East LA. This time to C.J. Bozeman. Good enough for the first down, so Bozeman will advance to 6 for East LA.
And Albert, if you watch that run, they looked like they were going to meet him into the hole, if you want to call it the 3-hole on the left-hand side. Then the linebackers and the defensive line did not shift quick enough for the Hornets. First down happens.
And Bozeman has some good speed and decent enough ability to make that cut, and he's able to execute it on that play and get that yardage necessary. Another handoff to Bozeman. That's a first down and then some. Takes it all the way into Fullerton territory. Stopped at about the 42-yard line. Big first down for the Huskies.
And again, you watch what happens. The linebackers overplay the run, and when they overplay the run, they can't make the defensive reset. And when we talk about Ethan Charpentier, one of the best, he's got 44 tackles this season. He was all defense last year. He was the defensive player of the year last year in the SCFA.
So 1st and 10 from the Fullerton 43. And flags will fly on this play. We'll look to the white hat and see what the call is coming up. So it's going to be a false start on East LA, so that'll back them up 5 yards. So 1st and 15.
This known defense by Brian Crooks has given up more yardage on the ground this season than they did entire last year, right? 185 yards per game.
High snap, fumbled, but recovered by East LA. It's going to be another loss on that play.
And
so another 2nd and long coming up.
Sorry, Albert.
Go right ahead, Mark.
That linebacker we talked about, Charpentier, once again was the first one back there to meet the ball. Got my spotter, Corey Nayland, behind me, keeping me honest, along with Albert.
So Bozeman getting the early work behind running back when it's normally James Thomas III. And a big tackle made by number 50 of Fullerton, Des Palomalu, with the sack. So 3rd and long for East LA. They've been backed up into their own territory. They're on about the 40-yard line now. And so not exactly the best sequence here, Mark.
I'm going to give Tom, I'm so used to doing Fullerton games here. I'm going to give Tommy Inouye a half sack and Palomalu the other half of the sack on that play. Inouye was in there. There were actually 4, but we're going to split it right down the middle.
So 3rd and 27 for East LA. Ebnett can throw the ball. It's going to be a short pass up the middle for minimal gain. That pass was to number 34, to Diego Murillo out of Yorba Linda High School.
And, of course, Albert saw the guy who tracks him down from behind. Albert, that's how you start with a season of 42 tackles for the season, 4.5 tackles for loss this year. Mr. Charpentier.
So East LA will elect to punt. And fair catch called at the 25. So East LA was off to a good start, but a sequence of penalties and probably bad reads by the offensive line backed them up and really forced them out of that drive.
You know, Albert, a little surprised because they ran the ball well. They could take that straight dive and then cut at the line of scrimmage, deciding to go with the pass attack, and that led them backwards.
And so now Fullerton will begin their first possession, playing into the setting sun. We'll see if that negatively impacts their starting quarterback. Not apparently, though, as they get a pass to the right-hand side, finding their easy target in number 7, J.T. Weir, and that is going to be a Hornet touchdown.
So let's just add, let's see, what did we just add to Mr. Lundsberg total? A 75-yard touchdown pass. So we give him 75 more yards for the season. That puts him now at 857.
And that'll be his 12th touchdown on the season for Lundsberg. Kick is up and no good, apparently. It looked good to me, so I'm not quite sure what the ref saw there, but Michael Vatkin misses the extra point, so the score will remain as is for the time being, 6-0 in favor of the visiting Hornets.
Well, Lundsberg last week lit up the yardage total. I think he was over 365 or around 370 yards last week. He was almost perfect, and we've talked about it too because Sherholtz, who looked like the guy that was going to be the real deal to start the season, unfortunately, like in football, he got dinged up, and the guy who's sitting there at number 2, Albert, gets to walk in, start playing the game, and he becomes the one that everybody's talking about.
So Nicholas Sandoval getting ready to set things up for the kickoff here for the second possession for East LA here in this very young game. Only 9 minutes and 36 remaining here in the first quarter. Kick is away from Sandoval. And East LA will elect to return. That's Victor Rodriguez. This time able to get back to the 23. And that is where East LA will begin this drive. So Bozeman still lined up in the backfield as the running back for East LA. Lined up on the near side is Jonathan Alexander at wide receiver. They fake the handoff, and a pass is good to Alexander. Is it good for the first down? The refs say yes. So that'll be a good play to move the sticks.
Grethen and Palomalo, those are the anchors at the corner, so those are your defensive tackles or your defensive ends, the way you can set this up.
And Edmond had to come off for a play, but they get the handoff to Bozeman for a nice run to the 50. So another first down for East LA. That was Brandon Valencia Sr., who came in briefly for Ebnet, having to sit out for that one play. But Ebnet back in on the field now. And East LA gets Fullerton to jump. Should be an offsides.
Well, I don't know if Oscar jumped on that, Magdagrell.
So they're calling a false start on East LA. I'm not too sure about that.
I think Oscar saw just a little bit of movement, made a jump on it when he went in there, and that's why he went. I mean, he's such a young man that's hard to hide down there. And then Miles Tyree is right there next to him. So you've got the 4 down linemen right now for your Hornets.
So 1st and 15, Ebnet will pass. Is complete, gets almost back to the original line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 11 coming up, or 3rd and 11.
So Husuna made the tackle on that one for the Hornets.
They'll hand it off, and Bozeman just meets a swarm of Hornets up the middle. It's going to be a no gain for East LA on that play.
And basically, I'm going to give that a quarter tackle to everybody down on the defensive line on that. Charpentier is your Mike back. In other words, that's your middle linebacker. He's basically the captain for this Fullerton College's defense. He flies around the ball out there.
7 minutes remaining. 3rd down coming up. Ebnet will keep it. Gets the pass off to the left side. That's going to be good for a first down. Target was number 6, Kamal Jabari.
And Xander Chisholm got to the point of watching the quarterback thinking he was going to run, never looked at the receiver. He bit and came up on the run play. The receiver got to sneak out in no man's land, and that's why the pass was complete. So you got to look at Chisholm and say, stay with the person.
They'll hand it off again to Bozeman. Finds a gap, gains about 5 yards on the play. Officially marked 40 by the sideline judge.
Asuna makes the tackle again for the Hornets.
Second and 6 with 6 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. East LA with a fairly positive drive so far. We'll see if they're able to finish this drive in the end zone. Short pass is complete. Good for the first down. That's to number 34, Diego Murillo. Or Murillo, sorry.
So you
Faronea. I marked down the wrong guy. Thank you, Corey, for pointing that out.
You watch the Hornets, they blitz on this side of the field. When they do, they empty coverage on this side of the field for the blitz. You go where the blitz comes from, attack the defense that way, and that's exactly why the Hornets gave up first down yardage.
So East LA on the Fullerton 27. Player goes in motion. Ebnick gets a pass off. That's to Alexander. Gets tackled. Helmet comes off, but is good for the first down.
Eric Roy II makes the tackle. He's got 9 tackles this season. A couple break up as a defensive back.
So Alexander will have to come off for a play as his helmet came off. He'll be able to rejoin on the next play. Bozeman in at running back, lined up behind Ebnick. He'll take the ball, goes to the left side, running towards the sideline, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies! And let's take a look at that on the replay here, Mark. We see Bozeman get the ball. He'll spake to the left side, and nobody really there is to tackle close to the end, but he runs right through those 2 Hornet defenders and finds daylight.
And what you see is the defensive end crashing down, not going up the field. So when you crash down, Albert, somebody gets in there.
So game is currently tied 6-6, pending the extra point. Kick is up, almost blocked, but through the uprights, and it is good. So Huskies take a slim lead, 7-6. With 4:39 left here in the first quarter.
Well, we already talked about how ELAC, and you can mention them too, Albert, they've done an outstanding job this season playing football. A lot better than last year. They're on the progressive way of going uphill. And now being in the national division, they're going to play a lot tougher competition. And I think this might be a true bonus to this Huskies team, because you're going to find out how darn good they really are.
And Logan Ebnick really has been a shining light for this Fullerton offense in at quarterback. Knowing a lot of the recent struggles they've had at QB with some various injuries to their starters, to see Ebnick play the way he has, throwing the way he's been, for the amount of yards and touchdowns he's had so far, it's a very positive light for this team. Ball is received by Harlem Harris for Fullerton. Gets a big return to about the 41-yard line, and that's where the Hornets will take things over here.
Well, last time the Hornets came out offensively, it didn't take them long to get on the scoreboard.
It only took one play, one throw for the Hornets to find the end zone. We'll see if Lunsberg has the ability to do it again. Pass up the middle, incomplete. Target intended for number 8, Logan Lester.
You know, there's a little WWE play going on in this field. A little takedown, rip off the head.
So 2nd and 10 coming up for Fullerton. Handoff to number 6, Graylin Kelly, the number 2 running back for Fullerton. Gets stopped at about the 45.
Graylin so far this season averaging 4.1 yards per carries. 30 yards a game when you watch him out there.
Lonsberg throws, finds his man, complete for the first down. That's to number 36, Mark Esley the second. So 1st and 10 on the Husky 43. Ebnett takes snap, hands it off. Runs it up the middle. That's going to be a first down. Handoff was to Harlem Harris. And Mark, a lot of helmets have been flying off these players here in this game. More helmets than I've seen all season or even previous seasons.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys wear helmets, if you watch them, that just slip on like a hat.
Ebnett throws to the right-hand side, gets his guy, and the first down. That's J.T. Weir.
So the Hornets run a flanker screen. Basically what you do is you stick out somebody out wide. You have your 2 up receivers turn into blockers as soon as he catches the ball. You could call it a flanker screen. It doesn't look like a normal screen, but that's what it is.
Lonsberg gets it off to Weir. And chased out of bounds at about the 22-yard line.
So you run the same play. You go to the right the first time, but you run a different version with a little crinkle in the play. You put a man in motion again.
Correction, knocked off at the 18-yard line, so gain of 4. 2nd and 6 coming up. Lonsberg, throw up the middle and over the target of J.T. Weir. And I think East LA just barely got away of escaping a possible penalty on that play.
JT Weir averaging 87 yards a game. One of the main receivers of this team so far early in this season.
3rd and 6. They hand it off. Goes to the right side. Knocked out of bounds, but will get the first down. That was Graylin Kelly with another run.
And Graylin's got 3 touchdowns this season for the Hornets.
Kelly lined up in the backfield next to Lonsberg. No handoff. He'll throw it well over Kelly. And Mark, if they had actually completed that pass, that could have been another touchdown for Lonsberg and Kelly. So 2nd and 10 on the Husky 10. So basically 2nd and goal. Lonsberg gets a huge hit, and flags will fly. But the flags were in the end zone and not in the vicinity of the hit on Lonsberg. So we'll see what the call officially is.
So he turns him just a little, gets the arm up on the elbow, gives a little turn on the body. They throw that flag, 4-pass interference on it, Albert. Just when you get that grab, if the official can see it, the yellow hanky will come out.
Yeah, so a fresh set of downs, and will move the Hornets closer to that goal line. Kelly lined up behind Lunsberg. They'll go with the handoff. Runs it to the left side and into the end zone for a Hornet touchdown.
Number 4 for Grayling this season so far. So he's up there and getting up there with those who have scored.
So Hornets lining up for the extra kick. They're 0 for 1 on the day in extra points. This is up and out to the right side. No good yet again. So it's the second time that Michael Vatkin has missed the extra point for Fullerton. And instead of going up by 6, the Hornets are only up by 5. 1:46 remaining here in the first quarter.
And we've seen games where you can't get it through for extra points. Now it puts pressure on you as the game goes on, and East LA continues to play the way they are. It's going to come down to that aspect, Albert, that those extra points are going to be really missed towards the end of the game.
And we've seen the struggles where the Huskies have had their kicking troubles, so it's definitely interesting to finally see it happen to an opponent of theirs. Sandoval lining up for the kickoff. Kicks it deep. And Rodriguez will again elect to return. It looked like there was some extra jersey grabbing there, but officially will be stopped. Well, hard to say where it's going to be stopped. Looks like they'll mark him officially to the 15. Alexander goes in motion, stops. Ebnett keeps it, runs up the left side. He should have enough room for the first down, and he does. Knocked out just shy of the 30, officially marked out at the 28. So a nice first down scramble there for Logan and Ebnett to get the first down and get the Huskies moving here on their third possession of the game. 1:14 remaining here in the first quarter. And they will hand it off. Run up the middle, short gain of about 3 yards. That handoff was to Bernardo Blanco, number 9 for the Husky offense. Bozeman getting a little bit of a breather here on this drive. Ebnett chops back, throws deep to the right side. He's got Alexander, and it's thrown for an interception. That's number 26, E.J. Robinson, for the Hornets.
EJ's second interception so far this season when you look at him back there. And Albert, when you looked at that play, I mean, well covered and everything else, but then again, lots of time they go away from the run one more time. You wonder if they need to stick with it a little longer.
So 20 seconds left here in the first quarter. Fullerton does not have to make a play if they choose not to, they could just elect to let it go to zeros on the clock and go to the second quarter. So we'll see how bold head coach Phil Austin is. And they will elect to get a play off. And that's going to go down for a loss of 3. They had Jack Shearholtz in for Chris Lunsberg on that particular play. So 2nd and 13 coming up. And zeros will officially be on the board. So that is the end of the first quarter. And so far, Mark, it's been a pretty entertaining game offensively. Like, there was a few missteps on the first drive for East LA, but on their next possession, able to come back and find their way into the end zone.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they were running the ball so well that they ended up going in, and then they go back to the pass. And when you watch your runners, I think, because I've seen a couple games now being here with you, I like the running attack from this very stalwart East LA team that's out here. I mean, this team's going to really shake up a lot of opponents in conference play.
And as you know from things on the Fullerton end, Graylin Kelly has received most of the carries so far on the offensive rushing side of things. We've yet to see number 20, Fred Hunter, get any action for Fullerton. And, of course, he's their lead back.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, something could be wrong with Fred. We don't go and ask that, so that could be the thing.
And handoff is to Kelly. He'll take it up the left side and knocked out of bounds just shy of the sticks. Penalty flags do fly. One of the coaches was knocked head over feet. Hopefully he's okay. He looks like he's in pain, Mark. And we'll see what the call is for the penalty. I didn't see anything too excessive, really. But it could be just a late hit is the official call.
Was that Brian? Oh, yeah. When Corey says Steve's older, Steve's not much younger, I was going to say, than I am.
So it is a personal foul on the Huskies. And it's going to be an official's timeout as they attend to one of the injured coaches on the Hornets sideline. We'll step away for just a moment. You're watching Husky football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. All right, so we are back live here from Weingart Stadium on sportsnetusa.net. Still in an injury delay for one of the Fullerton personnel that went down on a play on the sidelines. Paramedics are on site attending to that injury. We, of course, will not be showing you any of that, but we do want to give you some updates for what's going on across the 3C2A. In some of the earlier games that are now complete, Sequoias defeated Redwoods 41-21. Saddleback was victorious over down at Riverside. Score there was 40-34, so close game. One possession victory there for Saddleback. Canyons defeated Pasadena 20-14. 40-34. Saddleback.
Wow.
As Corey Nayland is shocked at the loss, I guess, for Riverside to lose. Because actually, now that I think about it, they're usually a powerhouse. So it's pretty shocking to see them lose a game, let alone by one score.
New head coach.
Can be tough to figure things out.
Yeah.
And actually a good comeback victory for Saddleback, considering they just lost to Fullerton last week.
Yes.
So a good bounce-back victory there for the Bobcats, especially since they did it on the road. Antelope Valley victorious over at Glendale College. Final score for that one was 38-27. Santa Rosa against San Jose. Final score 20-17. Hartnell at Feather River. Quite the whopping there for Feather River. Feather River defeats Hartnell 62-12 final. Shasta loses a close game over at Ridley, 34-35 final. So a 1-point victory in overtime for Ridley. Southwestern defeats Mount San Jacinto, 31-10 final. Coalinga defeats Chabot, 28-7. De Anza victorious over at Siskiyou, 35-24 final. Compton at West LA. Mark, I'll let you take a guess as to what the score was for that game.
Is there a negative involved?
There is not.
Oh, okay.
But it was another donut score for Compton as they get shut out by West LA, 63-0. Los Badanos defeats Cabrillo College, 76-29. San Mateo at American River, they defeat American River 38-14. Diablo Valley defeats Sacramento City by a score of 48-17. Santa Ana loses to Allen Hancock on the road. Allen Hancock victorious by 19, 39-20 final. And if you can hear some applause dripping over the audio, that is the applause for the paramedics and for the injured Fullerton personnel getting carted away. So thoughts and prayers to the Hornets for their injured personnel. We wish him a very speedy recovery. And Mark, I know you and Corey know a lot of the Hornet personnel, so, like what can you speak to that?
Well, I mean, they're a very close-knit group, so I know the staff was there by the individual side who was injured and giving as much support as they can. The players love all their coaches. I don't care if it's the ELAC team or the Fullerton team. There's so much respect for everybody in the community college community that the hearts go out anytime anybody gets injured on the field, and I know that's the day. So it's going to be one of those things where everybody's going to be waiting till the end of the game when people can find out whom, what happened, and how they might be, where they will be quickly by the side of the individual that got hurt tonight when this game is over. So our hearts go out to everybody who's involved in this situation, and we want to thank everybody here at ELAC. Once again, remember, when you're visiting something, it's a school like ELAC that reacts quickly to what went on today. Mm-hmm. They had their athletic trainers across the field to help anybody from Fullerton College, and everybody seems to forget that in the case of an emergency, that you want to, no matter how the situation may be, look at the cooperation from everybody from top to bottom to make sure that individual is taken in the best care they can be. So for everybody around the community college school of football, again, thank you here at ELAC for looking out for a fellow individual in the game of football. Albert, you were talking about scores. If somebody hadn't seen them, the latest polls just came out also for the junior college. San Mateo going into tonight was number 1. Mount Sac was sitting at 2. Butte was at 3. Golden West College, watch that one where we were talking about it. They're sitting at 4. Ventura, who beat Fullerton College, was at 5. Diablo Valley, Modesto. Riverside City was sitting at 8. They are going to tumble to the bottom. Coach Kraft, the son of Tom Kraft, who's now the head coach at Riverside, is now everybody's going to look at that coaching change from top to bottom and see what happens there. So that'll be good. Southwestern sitting at number 9. I think a surprise number 9 in the listing, because anybody who's followed Southwestern for the last few years have said, oh, Southwestern's that's a win. They've changed. They're sitting at 3-0 coming in tonight. El Camino at 10. Monterey Peninsula. Then Fullerton College at number 12. Fresno City. Saddleback. They're going to move up from 14. Even though they lost to Fullerton, they were still ranked at 14th this week. They will move up the poll. Bakersfield, Sequoias, Cerritos is not far away on the schedule for Fullerton, sitting at 2-1. Pasadena City sitting there. Sacramento City, Citrus. Mount San Jacinto still in the hunt. San Diego Mesa, Foothill, Sierra, and Santa Rosa. That is the top 24. Corey, we've already seen one big surprise with Riverside. Keep your eye on Golden West, Ventura, because you'd picked Riverside as making the playoffs. Go ahead, Albert.
And speaking of Golden West, Mark, currently in the final 2 minutes going with that game. Golden West is leading Bakersfield 21-13 with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. So Golden West, they are rolling right now.
Corey Nayland says, I go get my voice. If somebody's going to talk about me, I need to come on the air. Ed Ford's going to say, no, we can't do that. So here on sports.usa.net.
Yeah, and Golden West defeated Allen Hancock 55-0 early on in the season, and they defeated Riverside 42-35. And East LA will be playing Grossmont next. Sorry, not Grossmont next. We'll be playing Golden West next.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a really tough matchup.
Because they're all in the conference with each other. So that's another conference game. And being an ELAC fan, the one thing you say tonight is stay close to Fullerton, but you really do. It's conference time. And so everybody needs to understand it's first and second from each conference will make the playoffs. Then they basically rank those teams. So you could be sitting there with one defeat, but they don't think you're as good as everybody else because of the point system they put in. So you could be the bottom team. So conference games are now at an all premium. In the old days, you could be a third-place team and make the playoffs because coaches would say, oh, I think so-and-so who's third is a lot better than this team that's second or first. Gee, we're really sorry, and that's where there were a lot of disappointed people. They changed the playoffs so there would be less disappointment where you go, and that actually winning or coming in second in a conference meant more. So this is why the conference games, yes, they always have been important, Albert, but there is now that extra dime premium on there, and when you talk about somebody beating somebody else, well, it means a lot.
Yeah, and going back to some other scores, reason why I was saying Grossmont so much, because their box score right next to Golden West, but they defeated LA Valley 48-10. And honestly, we've seen a few LA Valley games. We kind of could have predicted how that game would have went. No disrespect, but we're familiar with the program, so you kind of learn some things here and there. Butte at Modesto College, currently leading Modesto 17-14 with 11 minutes remaining there in the third quarter. Foothill leading Sierra College 28-7 About 5 minutes left in the third quarter there. Cerritos shutting out Orange Coast 28-0. Just 7 minutes left in the first half there. So still early on in that game. Orange Coast, plenty of time to at least maybe put up some points on the board. But we also know that Orange Coast also not having the greatest seasons this season also. And plenty of other games in progress. This one hopefully will be in resumption soon. Players still warming up on the field. And one of the paramedics has already left the field. So it looks like they're still attending to other players who may or may not have been injured on that play. I don't think it was anything too extensive other than the one staff member who was severely injured. But we do also want to give loads of thanks and gratitude to the very swift response to the paramedics and medical personnel who were able to quickly respond and attend to the injured person.
And remember, I'm going to give a lot of love to everybody here at ELAC for the simple reason, Albert, they knew the situation on the field. They reached out to make sure the right individuals were here to tend to the injured person. So again, for the injured person and whom may know him, ELAC reacted quickly. I know the paramedics are here, but if they don't reach out to paramedics, the paramedics don't show up. And so that's what got this individual tended well. Let's go back and look at the game, though, because interesting start to this game. Fullerton comes out big time. I'm going to throw that big Winnie down there. And we all went, okay. But once again, like our last ELAC game, we saw the response from this ELAC football team, okay? And they did what you and Cerwin are up here. You've both been around so long. There might have been a time as an ELAC fan you would have said, oh, that's nice, but are we going to be in it? This is a different ELAC program that has now, being a National League team, is stepping up, playing against what somebody would say tougher competition. And you've got to give a lot to this football program early in the season to say they are really giving you a magnificent product on the field.
Yeah, especially when you know the clout that comes with Fullerton, that comes with Golden West, that comes with any other team that exists within the division. Like when we first saw, East LA is making that move, is that a good idea? So far, it's, at least proven correct in that it's brought out something different in this young ELAC team.
And I'm going to go back to what you said, because you gave a lot of love to their starting quarterback, and you have already reached out and said, hey, this is you've been around here long enough, Albert. You've said this is the big difference to this ELAC team this year.
Yeah, I don't remember there ever being an ELAC quarterback throwing for almost 1,000 yards 3 games into the season. It's not often that happens. And, so far, I think he's already, with the yardage added on to this game, I think he might already be at 1,000 yards for the season. And he threw for his 8th touchdown. Actually, it wasn't a thrown touchdown. That was a handoff. But still, making progress like no other ELAC QB has made in recent years.
And you got to give a lot of love to your head coach right now with ELAC, because this is a gentleman that was going to make a transition from being a head coach to becoming the athletic director.
Or just staying the athletic director.
Just staying the athletic director. And then, unfortunately, that didn't happen, so he stayed at coaching, and look what he did. Oh, he didn't? I'm wrong.
He took back the coaching role once head coach Arnie Robles transitioned to a different role.
So what happens is when he first started in 2016, he was the coach. And then at the end of 2017 season, he was approached about being athletic director, taking over for Al Cole. So going into 2019 was his first, 2018, 2019 was his first year as athletic director. So he was both athletics, and from that point until 2023, he was athletic director and football head coach.
Okay.
So after the end of the 2023 season, which we won the Patriotic Bowl, he decided to step away from football. And then that's when Arnie Robles took over. He was interim last year. But in January, he won the job outright. So he was the head coach, no interim. But what happened was Arnie got a rare Division I assistant coach / grad offer at Northern Illinois. And offer didn't come in firm until mid-late July. And of course,
25 on the play clock.
What time?
It should be
Yeah, so Cerwin Haynes giving us the breakdown.
So Arnie's a young guy. He can't pass that up. It's a D1 opportunity, coaching opportunity. So with everyone's blessing here at ELAC, Arnie Weingart took that Northern Illinois, who upset Notre Dame last year. He took the position. So Bobby, that late, very hard to find someone that he would trust to take over a program that, you're taking over someone else's recruit, someone else's coaching staff. Most coaches are not going to do that. So Bobby ended up taking it back over himself.
Okay, I was just having it explained to me because I'm a visitor.
Yep.
And so I don't get the insight. And, of course, once again, when we have the time, we get it from one of the nicer individuals. If you like community college sports, you need to come to ELAC and meet the man to my right because he is the kindest gentleman, and I mean this with all my heart. When you walk in the stadium, he welcomes you with open arms. So he was explaining to me, Mr. P, the old guy, here's the full backstory on what's going on. And you know what? I know people could just hear that in the background and going, hey, how come you didn't hand him headsets? But I didn't have an extra pair. So now let's get back to this game, Albert. It's all on you.
He's got at least two kicking around that Dan Gudino left around here. So they're around here somewhere. I know he's got them.
Okay.
But we do have a football game to get back to on this one here. And almost an interception. Would have been an easy pick. It was a pass up the middle for Jack Shearholtz in for the QB Lundsberg. Would have been an easy pick for East LA, but unfortunately it is a dropped pick. So it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Travion Baker for East LA dropped that one. Shearholtz comes back.
He'll scramble right, throws to the left, goes to the right side, is caught. It's complete to number 13, pushed out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. That pass was to Michael Hubbard. So Shearholtz coming in, making a quick impact already, subbing in for Lundsberg. He'll do a keeper up the middle. Easy touchdown for the Hornets.
And Albert, that's Shearholtz's specialty. He is a quarterback who can run first and pass as well. And he just demonstrated his qualities in a two-quarterback system.
And so now the Hornets will line up for the extra point. They're 0 for 2 so far going for the extra kick. But they're actually going to be lining up for a 2-point conversion. It's a handoff up the middle, but meets a pack of Huskies, and the Hornets unable to convert the 2 points. So an 11-point lead for the Hornets. 18-7 our score. 14 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. So if you're wondering why we are still only this early here in the second quarter, we did have an injury delay to one of the Hornet personnel and staff members. They were carried away by paramedics, so we do wish a speedy recovery to anyone involved with the Fullerton personnel. So Hornets about to kick it off to East LA as we have another member joining us on the broadcast. Say hi to SID Cerwin D. Haynes.
Hey, good evening. Thank you, Albert. And, it is broke a tackle here on the kickoff return, but Fulton stacks him up, and he's down at the, looks like it'll be about the 23. I see the line just at the 25-yard line, so it looks like that's where the Huskies will take over here.
Yeah, so decent return for East LA to start things off here in the second quarter for their first first possession of this quarter. Ebnet been having a really good game so far, as well as the rest of the Husky offense. They've just been handcuffed by some injuries and some other penalties, but have been moving the ball really well so far this game.
Yeah, and this Husky team, we'll see here, they need the quarterback. They need Ebnet to continue on his play from last week down to Santa Ana.
So Ebnet pitches out to Bozeman on the right side. Can't get back to the original line of scrimmage, so it's going to go down as a loss. Actually, officials are officially ruling it no gain, so he does get back to the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 10 on the Husky 25 coming up.
You know, during the preseason, we saw the running back room a little bit in the scrimmages. They had a green and white scrimmage, and then you had the scrimmage here against LA Southwest College. And this is one of the better running back corps we've had in some time. Play action.
Ebnet throws to the left-hand side. Gets it complete to number 34. Almost breaks a tackle. That's Pharaoh Nea, tight end out of Burstein High School. Good enough for the first down. So Nea able to move the ball fairly well so far this game. He's had a few other completions as well, Mark. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I was going to let you two visit since, you know, you were over there on the table.
Oh no, I'm more than happy to you know, three man team here, just like Monday night, just like the old Monday Night Football squads.
So they hand off to Bozeman. Cuts out to the left side, marked out of bounds, just shy of the first down. Gets it to about the 46-yard line, so 2nd and short.
Stick with the run. It has been the most successful aspect so far of this game.
And like I said earlier, this is one of the better running back corps that the Huskies have had in a number of years. James Thomas III has gotten to start first couple of games. C.J. Bozeman had some good runs in those games, and he's got to start tonight.
Here's a snap. They'll hand it off again to Bozeman. Gets the first down and then some. Gets to the 30 and knocked out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
But there is a flag on the play in the back in the offensive backfield. Usually,
we'll see if that brings the ball back or not. We'll wait the official ruling from the White Hat. But since all players are coming back to the scrimmage, it is indeed coming back. It's holding on the offense. So, unfortunate penalty, going to cost the Huskies a great positive gain play.
And seeing where that flag is thrown during the play just makes your stomach churn if you're a Husky fan. Because if you watch football long enough, you kind of get an idea of when and where the flags are thrown, what the penalty may be. And usually that's in the area of an offensive hold. So Huskies will have to do it again, this time 2nd and 12 from their 35.
So Bozeman lined up alongside Ebnet. He'll throw to the right side, complete to Alexander. Gain of about, I want to say 7, so 3rd and about 5 coming up.
Not a bad pass and catch there, about 7 yards. Keep it 3rd and manageable. You want to stay out of 3rd and long. You want to give yourself as many options as possible on a 3rd down. Probably be safer to try to pass it with 5 to go, but at least it's close enough to make the defense think about multiple options here.
So it is a 3rd and 5 coming up, and as Mark has said just a moment ago, stick with the run. They've definitely been able to have Bozeman break free and gain that extra yardage. He just did it, 2 plays ago. That was recalled, so we'll see if he's able to do it again. Alexander goes in motion. Ebnet will keep it himself. Gets cracked behind the line of scrimmage. Able to get the pass off, so it'll officially be an incomplete pass. 4th down coming up, so East LA will elect to punt.
And you could hear the faithful here at East LA sort of thought, hey, wait a minute, he threw it up outside. He gets leveled. We would like to see the hanky come out to move the chains if you're an ELAC fan.
Well, I am, but you have to admit that was a good, clean play. It looks like Ebnet was trying to get a receiver on that near side to break free and I don't think the receiver actually got free. I think he was holding it to the last minute, and then that defender came crashing down on him.
He was pretty well defended up until that pass. There wasn't it wasn't going to be catchable, even if he wasn't broken free. It was a tough play altogether. But, props to Ebnet for sticking with the play and not taking the sack. Maybe sometimes you kind of want to take it in that situation to avoid a possible injury. But in any case, Huskies do punt, and Fullerton will take over on the 33-yard line. They'll go with a handoff. Short gain of about 3. And it looks like the handoff was to number 17, Harlem Harris, the wide receiver.
Chris Lunsberg is now back in the game for the Hornets at quarterback.
He had sat out the previous possession for the Hornets, so good to see that he's back in the game. He'll throw it out to the right side, complete to number 36. Dodges a defender and gets the extra yardage for a first down. Marked down officially on the 47-yard line. That was complete to Mark Esley II.
Yeah, Justin Wyrick, the DB there for the Huskies, was the man who was trying to bring him down, but kind of got turned around on a good little shifty move there by the receiver out in the flat, and Fullerton got enough for the first down.
So first and 10 from the 48. Ooh, almost a sack there for the Huskies, but they do come up with an interception here. It's a fight for a little 50-50 ball, and it's Huskies with the interception.
Let's see who that was, because he came closing in on that wide receiver as the pass arrived at the spot. It looks like he just took the ball away.
So officially an interception for number 19, Travion Baker, making up for the missed interception earlier on in the game, Mark. Came up huge there.
Yeah, and really what Lunsberg did is that he stared down on the play, and this is where you get a quarterback that locks into a receiver, and the defensive back now has an opportunity to play the ball. Beautiful defense by the Huskies.
And Baker, he had an interception last week at Santa Ana, and a critical interception, and he picked the ball off in the end zone. Turned away one of Don's drive that gave the Huskies an opportunity to retake the lead in that second half.
So in at quarterback right now is number 13, Brandon Valencia Sr., as Ebnet will set out a few plays, maybe just this one. I don't think I saw a helmet came off him, so hard to say why he's sitting out on this particular play. Valencia throws. He finds Farrow, breaks through one tackle, breaks through tackles. I want to say he broke through maybe 4 or 5 tackles there. Gets the extra yardage. Gain of about 6 there.
He turned it what would have been a 2-yard stuff into a 6-yard gain just by breaking those tackles and lunging forward for those extra 4 yards. That's an extraordinary effort there.
So it's going to be a 3rd and 5, so a very manageable down for East LA. We'll see if they're able to convert. Pharaoh Nea, really good job with those catch and runs he's been able to do so far in this game. And it's going to be, someone got a little jumpy there. Should be a false start. The play should be ruled dead.
Yeah, kind of was late to blow it dead there.
Oh, they switched out the QB again. That's the second time they switched out the QB. Now it's a new QB again.
So Valencia Sr. will come off the field. Logan Ebnet back in at quarterback.
Honestly, not a,
so there might have been a timeout quickly called because it should be 4th down, but it's still 3rd and 5.
Oh, it's a free play, though. Why they blow it dead?
Oh, they're saying offsides on the defense.
So it looks like the play was blown dead, and it would have been offside. It's offsides officially on the defense. So 1st and 10 for East LA. They'll be on their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, it was weird because usually on an offside call, they let the play go. They don't call the play dead. So kind of
because like the wide receivers kind of like blew right through. It's like, wait a minute, that's not right. But I guess there was somebody with a little more awareness than us watching the players on the field on that defensive line. Ebnett has a snap. Pass up the middle, incomplete. He's trying to find the hands of Kamal Jabari.
Okay, let's go back to last play, and you guys both wondered why that. You can't get an advantage on a penalty. So the wide receiver started to go when he thought there was motion on defense. He's 5 yards down the field before the officials themselves even start to play. You can't let somebody get a 5-yard jump on that play, so the play is ruled dead.
Thank you for the clarification, Mark. Always appreciate your wisdom and insight.
Play action. Slant on the inside, caught.
Pass is complete. Target was for number 11, Victor Rodriguez. Gain of about 5.
And when Ebnett really started to get going last week down at Santa Ana, it was on those inside slants that he started hitting his receivers. So if he starts to do that here, you know that he's starting to really build upon his rhythm with his pass catchers.
Bernardo Blanco in at running back for East LA, giving Bozeman the breather. Pass out to the right side, incomplete. Target intended to Alexander.
Ball was thrown a little too low. Receiver couldn't pick it off the carpet before the ball hit the ground. So it looked like for a second Huskies were thinking about going for it, but it looked like they were just a little late to put the punt team on.
And so we'll be 4th and 5. The punting team will come on the field. So not the most productive drive for East LA coming off of the interception. If you're a part of the Husky faithful, you definitely would have wanted some more. Punt is up and away. It'll take an ELAC bounce and be marked down at the 25. So that is where the Hornets will take over with 7 minutes remaining here in the second quarter.
Well, if you're an ELAC fan, this is where now you want defense to step up. The Hornets missed a couple extra points. You felt like you were in the game. Now they're up. They've got 18. You're down by 11 here. You had an interception,
a late flag.
and we get a late flag. So we'll see who that's on because they dropped it by the ELAC bench.
Was barking at the ref for a while. He was barking at the ref for a while.
So looks like Bobby
Coach
Godinez
is heated.
Yeah, he was doing this since like the last 3 plays.
getting a little chatty on the sideline with the officials.
Oh, knowing him, he's more than chatty.
If he gets 2, he's ejected from the game.
I'm giving some benefit of the doubt.
There's a reason why when we wrote the article about his return to those sidelines that the headline was refs beware.
So unsportsmanlike conduct is going to advance the ball for Fullerton. It'll be a 15-yard penalty, so they'll take over on the 40 for this possession here. Lunsberg hands off. It's going to be a first down. Handoff was made to number 45, Mike Taffy.
He needs to chill. He gets another one. He's ejected. He gets another one. He's
That's Mike's second carry of the season, so he's been used limitedly at a running back.
Lunsberg rolls right, gets the pass off. That is complete to Taff. And we got a flag on the play.
Now there's even more talking coming from the sidelines, and Coach Godinez is still white hot on the refs.
He might be arguing for a personal foul on Fullerton's end of things by the sidelines. Because also, like, one of the Fullerton players was gesturing to one of the Fullerton players saying, hey, you know, this guy here, he started it all. We'll see what the official ruling is from the White Hat as Godinez encourages players to take that extra step back on the sideline and hopefully cooler heads will prevail.
Including the head coach himself. But it's amazing how coaches who just, are able to just walk that line where they're just ripping into a ref and then they turn around and tell their players, hey, go back. Hey, come back, go back. It's like they can switch gears so quickly between, ripping into a ref and then, having a different mindset. Okay, let's make sure my players are behind the line. So
holding on the offense. And it'll be first down on the Husky 40.
Yeah, the chain shouldn't have moved.
And
Why are you moving the chains?
I'm hearing that something about the chains moving on the far side.
yeah, it seems like they shouldn't have moved at all.
Shouldn't have moved. Only the down guy.
So now the referees have to get the position of the chains
Move it back.
and the down marker correct.
Yeah, there we go. Do it with the down marker, just move. There we go.
Yeah, because it should be a short.
A short yard to go, given where the holding call was, which is upfield. So it says 1st and 2 on the board, a little more of a long one. Right inside.
They'll hand it off again to Taff. Good enough for a first down.
Mark, you've been mentioning about the toughness and of the Huskies' competitiveness. This defense, one of the byproducts of the fact that Coach Godinez had to take over the team late is that he didn't get a chance to do any type of recruiting because he took over in late July. Oh, play action.
Pass off to the left side. Pass was intended to Harlem Harris. That'll go incomplete.
Ball kind of floated just a little bit. Didn't get there to the flat in time. If it floated a little bit more, maybe it would have been in danger of potentially being picked off by a Husky.
Fullerton's quarterback's giving him chances. He's giving.
So I'll tell you right now, this is much more competitive than the past 2 games Huskies have versus Fullerton. So this is, good news in terms of, Mark, we talking about the progress of the Huskies program.
So
And a
Lunsberg
sack.
gets brought down. By the
Chukwuemeka.
big man, number 91, David Chukwuemeka.
Chukwuemeka.
He's been having a heck of a season. He only started playing football 6 months ago, Mark.
Yeah, you were telling me last game that he was a former basketball player.
What was it? UC Riverside, I believe he was playing at. I gotta get the UC correct, but he was on the roster even last year. So he a recently converted basketball player. Coach Godinez actually might have even stolen him away from Coach Mosley.
So Lunsberg, and the fumbled snap,
He
able
got
to pick
away.
it up and recover. It's going to be a positive gain just shy of the first down.
Yeah, your Huskies. That's something that you just can't allow to happen. Quarterback has a fumbled snap. That's the opportunity you got to hone in on it and bring that quarterback down. So instead of being a punt,
And now they'll jump off sides, guaranteed an automatic first down for Fullerton now.
unless they say that.
And there it is, offsides on the Huskies. They got really jumpy there. Taff will come off the field for Fullerton. And in at running back behind Lunsberg will be Harlem Harris.
Yeah, that's just not a good series of events for the Huskies defense. Had a chance to maybe get off the field, maybe force a 4th and long situation, and now Fullerton gets to keep driving. Oh, broke
Harris
tackle.
able to break out, try to go back up the middle. Short gain of about 5. So 2nd and 5 coming up. They'll be on at about the 20-yard line. 4.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Fullerton leading East LA 18-7. So East LA still very much in this game. They just need to clean up the penalties.
interesting enough, in the first game down to San Diego Mesa, where they kind of got outclassed by the Olympians, Huskies only had 3 penalties. Oh, that's a drop.
Pass dropped by number 7, J.T. Weir. He's reined in all his catches today except for that one.
So Lenzberg, who looked so smooth in the first quarter, has now gotten the hiccups on this drive also. He has not had that smooth long throw, nor is he necessarily getting the protection he was getting because of the onslaught rush from these Huskies.
And at running back for Fullerton now, number 34, Dominic Onchich. Lundberg throws, misses the target. Looks like he was going for J.T. Weir yet again. Pass was thrown behind him. So 4th and 7 coming up on the 22. Just under 4 minutes remaining.
And now we'll see if Fulton has a place kicker that can kick a, let's see, 22. You're looking at maybe a 37, 38 yard. But no, they're going to go for it.
Lundberg gets the snap.
Late blitz.
Throws up the middle and over the target
On
of
a
Weir, but
flag.
flags will fly. Most likely going to be a pass interference call on East LA, which is not the call you want to have made in that scenario.
It's kind of the worst, almost pretty much the worst case scenario call, especially when you're trying to get off the field on a 4th down. Wait a minute, are they? Yeah.
So it is indeed pass interference called on East LA. And I said it a moment ago, East LA has been playing well. They just need to cut the penalties. That has what's been advancing a lot of Fullerton's positive gains so far.
And Coach Godinez told me a couple weeks ago that unfortunately this team is not quite good enough to overcome the number of penalties and mistakes that they've made.
It's a high snap and it's fumbled. Lundberg is going to just drop on it at the 20.
Big break there for ELAC.
Especially with their
After you look at a 1st and goal situation, now that's going to back up the Hornets to about the 21-yard line. And like Mark, Albert, like you're saying, this, even though Fulton's been advancing the ball, they've mostly been advancing on Husky penalties. They've had a little bit of the yips here, and so you just hope if you're an ELAC fan that the Huskies can kind of just take advantage of that uncertainty that Fulton's offense is showing you right now.
Yeah, you want to keep up the pressure in this scenario. They'll go with the handoff. Gets brought down on the 18-yard line. So 3rd and long coming up for Fullerton. So 3rd and goal on the 18-yard line.
Yeah, so it's going to be a timeout.
A timeout called on East LA.
Well, see, and I don't mind this. I think this is a great timeout call because when you look at it right now, it's 11 points. If you hold them to 3, it's only a 2-touchdown game. ELAC then would get the ball back with about 2:20 to go. If for some reason they can march a sustainable drive down the field and get lucky enough to find the magic bullet, they're down by 7 going into half. And if you're ELAC, then you just say, hey, we didn't play that well, and we're hanging right on the heels of the Hornets from Fullerton. This wasn't a bad first half. Wasn't great all the way around, but we're only down by 7.
And that's if you can do that. And Ebner does have that ability. He did hit a few big passing plays last week. We talked about how he was able to find a rhythm on those crossing patterns, hitting his receivers on the inside across the middle of the field, and in a couple of instances, either going for big gains or taking it all the way to pay dirt. So he's got the ability. The offense has the ability. Just need the defense to make a stand here.
Dominic Onchich still in at running back for Fullerton. They'll fake the handoff, throws to the left side. That is complete. And he will run it in for a touchdown. That's to number 82, Luke Indorf.
Gotta be honest, that's actually a pretty disappointing outcome. You don't think that on a third and goal from 18 yards that they can run a little, looks like inside screen or hitch and just rumble downfield almost untouched to get to the end zone. That's just not something that you would think the Huskies would give up in that instance.
Yeah, he didn't meet a whole lot of Huskies on his way into the end zone. So 24-7 in favor of the Hornets pending the extra point. We'll see if they're able to convert. And it is a blocked blocked kick. And East LA will drop right on it. It would have been something if they could have returned that. Would have been very exciting, but Fullerton has not converted a single kick or point or 2-point conversion this entire game on special teams. All their points have come off of the touchdown.
And you know, Albert, you mentioned it a little while ago, but I'm smirking here because you was with us about 3 years ago where ELAC had a myriad of issues with extra points. And we actually lost a few games. I'm thinking about that Chafee game a few years ago at Chafee.
That was a heartbreaker.
That's a definite big heartbreaker. We've lost at least 3 games that year just because we didn't because of place kicking issues. So, you know, and on top of that, you know, it makes you, even though you're down by 3 scores, seeing that it's 24 instead of 28, knowing that it could be a lot worse, it's going to give you a little bit of confidence going into the locker room here, ELAC.
Kick is up and away, and East LA will let it go in and out of the end zone for a touchback.
Well, and if you're a Hornet fan, you run that play that you just ran. Last week they ran it with Luke Indorf, and the exact same outcome happened. Indorf walked it in for a touchdown. So, you know, that's the old thing. If something works, don't change it, and it should work again.
And considering that's the only action Luke Indorf had seen all game, it definitely caught the Huskies off guard. 2:20 remaining here in the second quarter. East LA taking over on their own 25-yard line. Ebnett has a snap, throws to his right side. Pass is complete. Pass was complete to number 6, Kamal Jabari.
Huskies.
And we've officially reached the 2-minute timeout here at Weingart Stadium. You're watching Husky football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. I am Albert Robles. Joining with me, Mark Pavlovich, Cerwin D. Haynes, SID for your ELAC Huskies. Been a very exciting and eventful game so far, both offensively, defensively, and on the sidelines.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll take any points right now if I'm a Husky fan. If I get 3, I'm down by 2 touchdowns. Okay, I can live with that. I don't like it, but I can live with it because I'm not getting blown out. If I happen to make the magical pass, I'm down by 10 going into halftime.
And to your point, Mark, any points the Huskies can muster in this drive, be it either 3 or 7, it give the coaches so much more ammunition and fuel to go into the locker room and tell these guys, listen, you've been making mistakes, but you're right in it. And you're in it against one of the premier football programs in this state, against Fullerton College. So you could sell your team on the fact that, listen, if you, like I say, 3 or 7, you're right there with them.
And realistically, this game should be 29-7, considering Fullerton missed the 2-point conversion and 3 point after kicks. Pass up the middle dropped. Looks like they were trying to hit Jaden Thomas. So 3rd and 3 coming up for East LA.
You know, the time on the clock suggests a pass, but I wouldn't be. But with 2 timeouts, with 3 timeouts,
2.
Oh, 2. Excuse me, my eyes. 2 timeouts. I think maybe a run. They might try to sneak a run here, but they're not because it's 5 wide.
Ebnett fires to the right-hand side, and it's picked off, and it's going to be returned for a touchdown for the Hornets, and flags on the play will fly right there at the goal line. Probably for unsportsmanlike conduct, given the way he did some high kicks going into the end zone.
I think there's a certain retired football player named Primetime that might want to take a look at that and sue for infringement.
I believe that was
Fred
Fred Adams with the pickoff, number 22.
Pickoff, touchdown number 3 for Fred, bringing it back. You know what? There's such a thing as a ball hawk, and then there's such a thing as a defensive back that reads the receiver well and then can jump the pass, and that's what Fred does. And once he gets it, he knows what to do with it.
Oh, he saw absolute daylight once that ball went into his hands. Fullerton taking now a commanding lead.
Wait.
So it looks like they're waving it off. Let's take a look here.
I'm hearing that they're going to call the taunting foul before he went into the end zone. So that will negate the touchdown. Yeah, they've taken the 6 off the board. Now, Fullerton has the ball, first down, but it takes away the touchdown. Oh.
So I guess the taunting is a spot of the foul, so they're taking away from where the taunting actually occurred. So it's going to be 1st and 10 on the Husky 19. So East LA still in it, but they need to make a stop. Shearholtz in at QB, keeps it himself, short gain of about 2.
This is where you need to call on your defense here to make a stand. And now you're not just talking about making a stand for the half. You're talking about making a stand to keep you in the game and to keep it from getting away from you.
Shearholtz get the snap, fakes the handoff, runs it himself up the middle. Gain of about 5. 3rd and short coming up. And at quarterback behind Shearholtz is number 34, Dominic Onchich.
You know, and I was mentioning earlier to you guys that when Logan Ebnet is on, he can be great. But when
And
he's
Shearholtz
not,
breaks free to the right side and runs defenseless into the end zone, and that is a Hornet touchdown. Not a single tackle attempt made on Shearholtz by East LA on that run. Easy peasy.
and that's why I mentioned that this is not Coach Godinez' typical defense. Again, he didn't get a chance to recruit because he came on late, and he doesn't have the playmakers, particularly, especially in the backfield, defensive backfield. You remember 2 years ago where we had Gabriel Floyd, who was a star defensive back who do it everything. Now went to go on to the UFL. That's the type of caliber of athlete that Coach Godinez is used to having in the defensive backfield. He doesn't quite have that. And you're seeing, unfortunately, the defense is not where he's used to having it. And now the Fullerton's up 31-7. As it looks like they finally made an extra point, Albert.
Yeah, so Vatnik able to make the extra point that time. So 31-7 is our score with 53.5 seconds remaining here in the first half. So East LA down big late here in the first half. Hopefully they can get on the board here with a minute remaining and 2 timeouts in their possession, because Fullerton is going to get the ball coming into the second half.
And the thing that's just really disappointing is that, I mean, wasn't it like a couple of minutes ago where the Huskies were only down 18-7?
It was only a few moments ago. So East LA picks up the ball for a return. That's going to be a hard hit, and it's a fumbled ball. Looks like East LA able to jump on it. We're going to see what the official call is. I'm surprised no flags have flown on that hit. It was pretty aggressive, but overall kind of clean. And it looks like it was Taff on the hit for Fullerton.
So ELAC does recover the fumble, but man, that was a furious hit. And the Huskies have had struggles on their special teams. The punting's been kind of okay, but they've had struggles, particularly on kickoff returns. But as you see, even on the kickoff return coverage, but even on the receiving end of the kickoff return, you see that they've only been pedestrian. So, but they got 42 seconds left. Let's see if they do. Let's see if they can try to threaten and throw downfield quickly.
So 1st and 10 on the 27. 42 seconds remaining. Ebnet drops back. Pass up towards the left side, out of bounds. So that'll at least keep the clock stopped. We've got a late flag on the Husky backfield. That was after the whistle had already been blown. So personal foul on Fullerton. So that's going to move the ball up for East LA. We'll see if they're able to take advantage of that late penalty on Fullerton.
Well, they get a free 15 yards with the clock stopped.
So 1st and 10 on the Husky 42. We'll see what Godinez and company have up their sleeve. Here's a snap. Ebnet, pass to left side, complete. Alexander gets out of bounds. It's going to be a 1st down as well. So 1st and 10 on the Hornet 46.
Good location on that pass, but also good awareness by Alexander to get his foot down, know that he had the 1st down and get out of bounds quickly.
30 seconds and change remaining here. Plenty of time to make something happen. Here's a snap. Ebnet throws left. Just out of reach for Damari Taylor. Probably overthrew him by about 5 feet, but he had the right idea.
Taylor kind of did at the last minute maneuver around the defender, but again, that ball was about, like you said, Albert, 3 to 5 feet over his head. So he didn't really have a chance to catch it.
So 2nd and 10.
But as you said, 24 seconds, 0.2 seconds left on the clock. You're at midfield. Those are the type of passes that you need to at least try to make, at least attempt.
Ebnet takes a snap, throws to the right side, complete to Alexander, knocked down at the 42. Clock will run, and a timeout will stop the clock for East LA.
Not really the pass you needed at that point in time. You know, there are times where passing into the flats can kind of build a rhythm, but this is not one of those times where you need to build a rhythm. You need to get to the end zone. You need to get to the end zone quickly, and kind of throw a pass out to the flat where it looks like the defense was waiting for it, and getting your receiver lit up. Listen, you had the timeout, you burned the timeout. Listen, next play, but not the ideal play.
18 seconds on the clock. 18 seconds on the clock. 18 seconds on the clock.
Tell him.
So clock has stopped at 15.6 seconds. They should be able to add some time back onto the clock as the timeout was whistled just before to that, and they have added some time back onto the clock. So 18 seconds now on the clock for East LA. They got 1 timeout remaining and 42 yards to go to find the end zone.
The thing you need to watch in this game, if you watch the Fullerton defense at the end of that play, they walked over to the sideline, started mouthing off to East LA. This is where if you're winning, hey guys, be gracious.
Right.
You can put up 70 points, that's great. But don't start taunting and getting everybody upset so that the game gets out of hand.
That's where fights happen. That's where a lot of dangerous things can happen.
Ebnet gets the snap. Pass up the middle and intercepted again by the ball hawk number 22, Fred Adams. That's his 2nd interception of the game.
Hey, you know what? It was a great play by Adams, but you got to give the defensive front for Fullerton credit because it was the pressure on Ebnet that made him throw that ball sooner than what he would have wanted to, and off target. And so the pressure up front basically helped create that turnover, that interception. So, and I imagine with Fullerton snuffing out the Huskies' last chance to score before the half, they'll probably take a knee.
So the 4th interception of the year for him. And again, you've got to watch a defensive back that reads the quarterback, reads the ball. Then he breaks on the ball and catches it. There are too many defensive backs that like to make the big hit. They don't watch the football. They don't take the football in. They did it that way. So give it to the defensive backs of the Hornets tonight.
So just a kind of a disaster. Fullerton's going to run a play here.
That was Mike Taff in at running back. That's going to bring us to the end of the first half. Zeros on the board. So after 2 quarters of play, the Hornets of Fullerton College lead your ELAC Huskies 31-7. And what seemed like a very close and manageable game up until that last 5 minutes, Fullerton just said, hey, try this.
Yeah, and you can attribute it to 2 things. You can either say Fullerton stepped up defensively and played solid defense, or you can flip it over to the other side. Couple bad decisions by ELAC. ELAC's defense looked like they were going to stop people. Sherholz is a running quarterback, gets that last touchdown for Fullerton. That seemed like the zinger that sort of put the sour note on this half.
And the zinger and the interceptions, too, late in the second half really has put a bad taste in the mouth of the Huskies hopeful, present company included. So, I mean, listen, 31-7, anytime you're down 20 or more at half is tough. But, I mean, you're going to take it one play at a time coming out in the second half. And that's what the Huskies need to do. And they need to be able to put plays together. They need to put a sustainable drive together. And they need to get in the end zone. They need to be able to produce points on their drives.
So we, of course, are at halftime here at Weingart Stadium. We'll step away for a moment. You've been watching Husky football right here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Well, we're back here with the Huskies and the Hornets at halftime, and I've got a guest with me tonight here on SportsNetUSA.net, a familiar name from the past. He's getting older. He's not as old as me. We've been on the road for many years here in the 3C2A and the SCFA. My broadcast partner, who has done numerous Hornet games with me, Corey Nalen, along the way, and one of the more outspoken individuals when it comes to community college sports here on SportsNetUSA.net. Corey, let's take a quick recap of this game before we go anyplace else. The Hornets played traditional Hornet football in the aspect that they played to their quarterback's strength, whoever it was. When it was Sherholz in the game, it was a quarterback that was going to run the football to get you the touchdown. If it was Lensberg in the game, it was a quarterback who you depended on his arm and excellent catching by his receivers to get you in the game. That's the offensive quickness for Fullerton. And on the flip side, Brian Crook's defense does what Brian Crook's defense does. When they get a lead, they smother the other team defensively. And for me, that what sums up this first half.
Yeah, and offensively speaking, we'll start there. Enjoying the game, enjoying the feedback, and learning some things from you, Albert, and Cerwin on the air about East LA College and the program and Fullerton and what they're doing. You mentioned it offensively, 7-14, Chris Lundberg through the air, 148 yards, those 2 touchdown passes. But he's got his first interception of the season. We were just talking about how long he could go without throwing an interception. Well, 4 weeks. On the ground, Jack Sherholz, who got injured in the first game of the season, comes back here and has 2 touchdowns running. And he's also the leading ground gainer for the Hornets, as they're missing Fred Hunter this game. So Graylin Kelly has 23 yards. Sherholz has 26 in those 2 touches. And J.T. Ware, 3 catches, 89 yards. But again, that first play of the game, that 75-yard touchdown to open up the ball game is what Fullerton needed. And we're going to get to East LA after we talk Fullerton defense, because I want to talk about that score and what East LA did next.
And when you talk about the Fullerton College defense, Corey, when you get behind the sticks as East LA did, when you're playing catch up the way East LA was, when you thought you would have an opportunity, Fullerton once again does one thing defensively. When they know there is somebody in trouble, they like to bring the pressure, but they can do it with 4 down linemen. I'm so impressed with the 4 down linemen. I know they use more than 4. They rotate their down linemen. I'm so impressed with the down linemen. They can bring the pressure. And then when you have the defensive player of the year as your Mike back, your middle linebacker, who plays the game more into the gaps. I was talking to one of our students today and said, if you watch him, he's not that traditional coming up the middle linebacker. He moves before the ball is hiked. And so he may be over to the left or the right. And his quickness, I'm not going to say his overall power. I'm going to say his quickness, and you can disagree with me, makes him a strong middle linebacker.
Yeah, his quickness, and he's anticipatory. He reads the play well, and he studies that film well to see what's happening because, again, he's not the biggest of guys. But he is simply what that definition cliche, he's simply a football player. Every team needs a player like him because he is going to make the right play 98% of the time. Actually, we've seen him for 2 years now. 99% of the time, he's going to make the right play. And you speak of that down line, 5 tackles for loss already in the first half, and Des Palomalo has 1 and 1 sack. Eric Worry, Ethan Charpentier, and Miles Tyree have the others for tackles for loss, and they've really done a good job in the second quarter putting pressure on Logan Ebnet.
And then when you look at which you've talked about for years at Fullerton College, because when Corey and I have called games together, I basically do play-by-play, talk about the offense, you follow the defense, and Corey, through the years, you have praised the defensive backs for Fullerton, and you have scolded the defensive backs at Fullerton. Sometimes when you've scolded them, you've had mamas calling up talking about the backs, but you talk about these defensive backs with affection this year because you think they're good, but you think they're going to be a lot better than good before the end of the season.
Yeah, they're decent now. They're decent now. By the end of the year, they're going to be very good. They're just scratching the surface of how good they can be. They've got to make sure they're wrapping up and making tackles. And again, defensively, 2 interceptions here. 1 should have been a touchdown, but it wasn't by Fred Adams, gives him 4. They're simply going to get better with Nehemiah, EJ, and Xander. They're going to get better along with the rest of them. Who got the start today was Amir Garrison. They'll get better. They're decent now, but on the way to being one of the best in the state.
And now I'm going to – go ahead if you had something else to say. No, because I was getting ready to flip it to East L.A. and talk about them. I know people are going to look at the score and say 31-7, an American Conference team that comes up to the National Division. And we know, everybody who knows about SCFA will say, there's the Nationals, then there's the American Conferences. And when the American comes up, but I've been here for 2 East LA games now. I'm impressed with this East LA team. I think they've got more talent than their record shows and more talent than we're seeing tonight. A couple bad breaks, a couple horrible penalties that they shouldn't have committed, and they would have been much closer in this game tonight. When you look at East LA, there's a great deal of talent and a great deal of hope to see this program get much better.
Speaking offensively first, this Logan Ebnet might be the best quarterback they've had in a while overall because listening to Albert and Cerwin for years, watching them play, they've had flashes of quarterbacks that made flashy plays and they were good. Logan might be the most consistent quarterback leading them, depending on how much who they play for the rest of the season. They've got a chance to win 5 or 6 games this season because of that play at quarterback. He's one of those staying in forces, coming in players from Salesian that really comes from a good football program in high school. And you can see it in the offense through the first 4 games this season that this is something they didn't have this year. And this is a team that's coming off, you three were talking about Bobby Godin is coming back from AD or being AD and coach for this season, and really doing a tremendous job with that in such a short period of time. And Logan tonight is 12 of 19, 100 yards, but unfortunately he's got those 3 picks. The picks haven't been on him per se, even though they're on him, but it's that pressure that Fullerton was providing getting to him, and that's why he's been forced to run those or throw those passes. C.J. Bozeman has 10 carries for 66 yards. Fullerton's doing a better job in that 1 touchdown. If they can establish that run just a little bit more going into the third quarter, they can get back into this game, because Fullerton, it kind of feels like they think they've already won the ball game. And so if you can catch them on a couple plays, you get back into it.
Well, you know my attitude on that, because I always look at the glass as still half full. So if you're an ELAC fan, you've got to look at the second half and say, hey, if they put up 24 points on us and held us to 7, we can flip the scenario in this second half. And while you're talking about ELAC, their defense is not a bad defense. Realize, Corey, if it's not for a couple interceptions by the Hornets, if it's not for a couple penalties, if it's not for, and we heard Cerwin talk about the head coach. If he doesn't walk on the field and just say to somebody, hey, didn't I see you at dinner last night? And the referee throws a flag, this could be a different football game.
And it's not, I'm not sure it's that. It's more the fact that they haven't been able to sustain it. They can get over those turnovers for the most part, but they haven't been able to sustain the drives that they've had at midfield and moving forward. They've stalled. And so that's one thing they're going to work on in the second half. And that defense, led by David Chukwumika, he's got 6 total tackles. 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. So he's doing a good job of getting in the backfield. It's simply that secondary needs to step up, because it was Timmy Fleischer, was that last year or 2 years ago that East LA had, and a couple others that tremendous in the secondary, really allowed that defensive front to shine, because they played 5 defensive backs, and it was heck trying to complete a pass and moving down the field against them. And Travion Baker had that 1 interception drop, but made up for it. He's also got 7 tackles.
Yeah, when you look at Baker as a defensive back, Corey, I mean, the interception to me was a very fundamentally sound interception, because he steps up, plays the ball against that defensive back. They get there at the same time, and yet a smart defensive back takes control of that, doesn't go down tied, because if there is 2 hands from offense and 2 hands from defense, when that ball hits the ground, you know what the call is on the field. Simultaneous possession, the ball goes to the offensive side. Excellent interception on his part.
Yeah, and you guys were talking earlier about the scores and the top 25.
Yeah, let's get to some of those maybe.
That's why I went to grab my headset, because I wanted to get in on that conversation.
Go.
Because you were talking, and you talked about Saddleback beating Riverside 40-34. And
Exactly.
Albert said Saddleback just lost to Fullerton last week, and they didn't play their best game. Yet they come in and play Riverside, who just beat College of the Canyons last week 57-54. They lost to Golden West earlier in the season 40-37, I believe the score was. And then they lose to Saddleback in a game that you think they're supposed to win. Big win for Saddleback. This is the most interesting season we've seen in community college football in California in the first 4 weeks in quite some time. And, yeah, that's because Riverside loses. Fullerton's already got 1 loss. Ventura's still Ventura. But we'll see how good they are later on in the season. And they'll probably be there. It's going to be interesting as College of the Canyons beat Pasadena. What was the other score that we saw? There's a couple up north. Southwestern versus Mount San Jacinto. Southwestern is 4-0.
Surprise.
Yeah,
surprise. That's a surprise.
That's a big surprise, because if you've seen Southwestern play since 2019, after that 2019 season, you're lucky that they would put up 12 points in a ball game because that offense just wasn't where it used to be. This year, we have to know what's happening with Southwestern because they beat Mount San Jacinto, Casey Mazzota's team, who's supposed to be on the come-up. They're supposed to be in Southwestern seat right now, undefeated, but they go down in defeat today. And up north, Diablo Valley. Now, I think Diablo Valley, the City College of San Francisco head coach, I think he went to Diablo Valley. And now Diablo Valley is a football powerhouse up north because they're undefeated as well or just lost one.
Butte and Modesto played each other, didn't they, tonight?
Yeah, I'll check that. But Diablo Valley beat Sacramento City 48-17. They're actually a quality football team. And you look at City College of the San Francisco, when was the last time you saw them out of the top 25?
I don't know. And you talked about Diablo Valley, now 4-0. Coming into today, they were ranked 6th in the state of California. To not see San Francisco, who was ranked in the other category, now they're going to be dropped from the other category, and we're not even going to see their name.
And I'll give you credit for Bakersfield. They've lost 2 games now, but they seem like they're resurgent in their football program, coming up to or staying in the national division, playing Golden West well. But they dropped to 2-2, but that's an up-and-coming team. And you mentioned Butte and Modesto up north. Modesto is a team that Ed Ford was talking about last couple years, that Modesto is an up-and-coming team. They proved it last year by making the playoffs. But again, Butte, off-season last year, I think they made the playoffs, but off-season because they weren't really a factor. This year, after the win, still got 5 minutes left in that one unless
But are they winning?
Our phones haven't updated. They're winning 36-29.
So they'll be 4-0 if they win. They were number 3 coming into tonight. They'll stay at 3 because San Mateo and Mount Sac are going to stay at 1 and 2.
Yeah, and the other team that's interesting, and this is going to be in the American Division. Well, before we get to that, Mount Sac is over Citrus right now in the third quarter with 8 minutes left to go in the third. 36-28 against Citrus. It seems like Citrus is scoring on anybody, right?
Wow, Citrus is playing better than I thought they would.
Yeah, and Mount Sac is good, but here's the thing. I don't think there's a great team this year
In the South?
in California Community College.
Oh, San Mateo's going to be extremely above average. I don't think they're going to lose for this season. I think they're going to start at number 1. They're going to end at number 1. I'll take that Northern California team, and you've got Butte, who's 4-0.
But I don't think they're great, though. I don't think they're great yet. They'll probably get there by the end of the season, but right now there's no great teams. There's just good and very good.
Okay.
So Mount Sac, yeah, good team, not great yet. Fullerton, good team, not great yet. San Bernardino Valley, they're beating Victor Valley it's tied 27-27. You talk about a team who ain't put up 27 points in 2 years, San Bernardino Valley.
Well, wait a minute. They could actually have football teams. That's the first positive. How many games did they forfeit in the last 2 years because they did not have enough players?
Right. And now 27 all against a quality Victor Valley team in the American Division. The head coach, James Griffin, who we come to know and love, is really turning around that program.
Yeah, and Keenan Gardner's over there at San Bernardino Valley. The former offensive coordinator for the Fullerton College Hornets is now there.
And Jared Oswell, he's the
That's
defensive
Jared.
coordinator,
Right.
the ex-linebacker coach from Fullerton. It's one of those things where you see 3 guys like that going to San Bernardino, turning that around, and Albert and Cerwin were talking about the head coach who got the Division I opportunity at Northern Illinois. It's a testament to what these programs run, especially here at East LA. It's a testament to what they run and what type of commitments they get from their coaching and their players, and how they move on and comport themselves in such a professional football manner. It's nice to see.
Yeah, it really is, when you look at it. As we come close to the end of the half, is there any people you were on the bandwagon for some few, any bandwagon you jumped off of and said, I'm going a different direction?
No bandwagon. I know you said I picked Riverside to get in, as the team.
You did.
you always pick Riverside to get into the playoffs until Riverside doesn't get into the playoffs because you think that's what's going to happen. Not because I'm a big Riverside guy.
Well, I
but
know that.
But because it's Riverside City College, same way as Mount Sac, you always expect them to be there, so you don't change your picks until they don't get there.
Oh, okay.
Because nobody saw Southwestern.
Oh, absolutely. Don't forget, later on this week on sportsnetusa.net, little volleyball, little soccer, women's soccer, and men's soccer. Albert Robles and the old guy are going to be out and busy all week long here on sportsnetusa.net. Make sure you check the homepage. And then next Saturday, Saddleback football. Matt and Ryan Osborne, along with Albert Robles. I don't know if you're going to be down there. I thought you told me you might be.
I'll be working camera that day.
There we go. Here on sportsnetusa.net. Now I'm going to get back and give it back to the voice of East LA Husky football, the one, the only, the incredibly talented. Oh, wait a minute. It's Albert Robles. I'm sorry. I was going off the top there. Albert, nice to have you back. Corey makes a lot of sense. I've got to ask you. You've been around.
Corey makes sense? What?
He's standing behind me. You've been around this program so long. I know you've had some teams that you've watched with a lot of hope and everything, but assess this team. I've been here for 2 games. You're a resident here at East LA. What do you think about the football team?
I mean, it's tough to really draw back on a lot of memory because, like, in a lot of the times that I've covered the game previously, I'm usually on, like, the production side of things, not really calling the games as Dan Gudino used to do. And I think he'd like to do it again at some point in time, but, he's busy doing other things, such as life. And I know Ryan Osborne has also called a few games for us as well. But like I said, this is probably the first time in a while since covering East LA that I've noticed, like you said a moment ago talking to Corey, that they've got a QB who seems like they can really make things happen. Like, he's capable of running the ball. He's capable of throwing the ball to the flat and downfield. Like, he's making good reads and making good decisions. It's just on whether or not, at least as this season goes, if they can bring it together defensively, because in the past, that's what East LA has been able to do. Like, they've made really good defensive plays here and there. Corey mentioned Timmy Fleischhood earlier, Travion Baker, today. And there have been other, really good defensive backs that East LA has had that have been able to make, good plays for them in previous seasons. They just really need to find that defensive edge to put it all together to match what they're putting offensively on the field. And kickoff underway as the Hornets will have the ball. And this one returned all the way into Husky territory to the 35-yard line. That was Harlem Harris with the big-time return for the Hornets to kick things off here in the second half.
Yeah, and really that is not, if you're a Husky fan, that is not what you wanted to see to give them good field position. We'll see now if who may come out at quarterback for the Hornets. And we're moving backwards because that yellow hanky came out.
So holding on the receiving team, so that's going to back them up all the way to the 36-yard line. Spot of the foul. Actually, it's going to be at the 40-yard line. Looking at the sideline there. Yeah, so it's going to take them all the way back to the 40. It is a spot of the foul penalty. So that is going to negate a very impressive run from Harlem Harris, and East LA catching a little bit of break to kick things off here in the second half.
Yeah, Sherholtz is coming back out as the quarterback for the Hornets.
Sherholtz takes a snap pass up the middle, complete to number 80, David Wagner. I believe that's his first catch of the game. Good for 6 yards.
So Corey said, Mark, you got the wrong guy. It's Lunsberg. My fault, Albert, out at quarterback.
Yeah, probably couldn't see that number 1 on the left side.
Yeah. So Lunsberg comes back out. And good idea to get him back out there. He seemed to lose his passing rhythm.
But, hey, I mean, they have a similar build. They're both 6'3" and 6'4". As Huskies meet the running back with a wall. Should be just shy of the first down. Actually, no, they're going to say he got there, although I'm looking down right at the line. I don't think they got it, but the refs are giving it to him. So first down for the Hornets. 14 minutes left here in the third quarter, just underway here in the second half.
Yeah, both of these quarterbacks look the real deal. I mean, B being 5'11 and a half, I was almost looking him in the eye. Okay, well, I'm not that tall, but.
It's going to be a handoff to number 45 for Fullerton. Good for the first down. Big run by number 45, Mike Taff. And if I remember correctly, Mark, it said that he'd only had one carry all season prior to today's game, and he's already had maybe a couple carries and a few catches so far. So he's getting some action here in the game script for the Hornets. Lundsberg takes the snap, fakes the handoff, pass up the middle to the left hash. Complete for a first down. That's to number 82, Luke Indorf.
And Indorf's got a touchdown already in tonight's game, so he had that in the first half on a traditional play that he had run the week before and got a touchdown.
Here's a snap. Well, fake the handoff pass to the left side. Going to fall incomplete. Target intended for Luke Indorf. And I got to tell you, if Indorf had looked the right way, probably would have been for a touchdown because the defensive coverage for East LA was not what it should be on that type of route. So 2nd and 10 on the Husky 29. In at running back behind Lundsberg is Taff. They go with the pass out to Taff to the left side. Good for a first down. Breaks 1 and 2 tackles, fumbles the ball, but goes out of bounds. It looks like they're going to say that he was down before the fumble, but that will advance the chains.
And you watch a Garrett Campbell offense work, he will always traditionally try to run with a 2-quarterback offensive system. So you have 2 different styles of maybe plays. One's a passing quarterback. One's the other one can pass, but is heavy on the run.
1st and 10 from the 13. They'll hand it off to Harris. Up the middle. Gain of about 6. Will be marked officially for 7, so 2nd and 3 coming up.
And Lundsberg, who's in right now, is more of the traditional handoff passing quarterback.
And they do hand it off to Harris. Going to lose some yards on this one. Going to take them back to about the 19-yard line.
You know what I like about that play there, Albert? Lundsberg hands it off and stands there. Hey, I gave it to you. Your job is to go forward. I'll just watch. I'm not going to try and throw a block. My type of quarterback. He knows his role.
So Harris will come off the field. Joining Lundsberg in the backfield will be number 34, Dominic Onchich. They'll opt to pass up the middle. That is complete. And that looks like it was to number 8, Logan Lester. So it's going to be 4th down, 4th and 7. Ball's on the 10, so Fullerton's going to opt to kick it, which has been a surprise considering how really good they've been going so far on this possession. Kick is up, and through the uprights, it is good. So 2nd kick that Fullerton has actually managed to put through the uprights today.
And Albert, I know I had a voice on the right of me, a voice on the left of me that sort of wonders why you do that. You're getting to do it against a live-action opponent, and you may need it down the road. You've already missed extra points tonight, so you need to reassure that kicker, first of all, I have trust in you. Second of all, you need to see the way the ball's coming up. Is it the person who snaps it who makes mistakes, the holder who makes mistakes? And we're just not doing it on an empty field. I got people who want to rip your head off. And if you should do it against anybody, it's that person that can all out level you. And so basically, that's a practice move for their next game, which is going to be against Orange Coast College.
Mark Pavlovich bringing the greatest of insights into college football.
Thank you, Albert.
And they're going to go with a little squib kick here. Kick is caught at the 43. Looks like some of the fans and some of the Husky faithful were looking for some sort of a penalty flag. They're not going to get the call, though.
Yeah, and Albert, the hand goes up for the fair catch, and, of course, somebody keeps running. If I do it across the field and you catch the ball, it's still a fair catch. I threw my hand up. And so, yeah, I understand why fans get upset because somebody gets leveled. But you need to realize if the arm's thrown up, you need to stop.
Ebnett will hand it off. That's going to go for a loss. Handoff was to Bozeman. It's going to be a loss of 3, so 2nd and 13 coming up for East LA. 10 minutes left here in the third quarter, in East LA really looking to just make any sort of positive games on this one, down by a lot. Ebnett fakes the handoff. Pass up the middle. They were going for Alexander. Almost picked off yet again.
You know, if you're a defensive back at this stage of the game, they're going to throw the football. I'm going to drop back 5 things. And then if I see it coming in my zone, I'm going for the pick. I know I'm going to get yelled at if I miss it and they score, but I'm not missing much.
And, of course, who else was in the vicinity for that play to almost make the pick? None other than Fred Adams. He's already had 2 interceptions today, almost made it a third. Ebnett, pass to the right side, incomplete. Trying to thread the needle to find Jonathan Alexander, but couldn't come up with it. It's going to force a 4th down, and East LA will elect to punt. Cerwin trying to join us back, and even though I had him potted down. Hi, Cerwin.
Hey there. I had to do my halftime chores. It looked like Alexander might have had that ball in his hands, but maybe did a little too much zip. Either way, Huskies are forced to punt. Excuse me, I had to do some chores and chase down my son.
So punt's going to be a little short. It's going to be received by number 36, Mark Esley II. He'll return the kick back to about the 44-yard line.
I mean, it's only about 7 to 8 yards, but it's kind of a shifty 7 to 8 yard return. You're talking about starting under the 40-yard line, starting might be about the 37, 38, starting at the 45. Now you're at midfield. Huskies defense now have a bit of a shortened field to work with, not what you need when you're down by 27 and you need to slow down this offense.
So 1st and 10 from the Hornet 45. Shearholtz in at quarterback. He'll keep it himself. Good for the 1st down, and he's still running. Tries to do a hurdle, is complete, knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at that one again.
All right, now there's a fight on the sidelines, and a flag is out. Someone's been watching Saquon Barkley highlights over the summer. I have to admit, it's pretty impressive that quarterback kind of pulls that Saquon hurdle off.
So we'll see what the ruling is on the field for the penalty flag.
You know, you kind of felt since the late in the second quarter, there's a lot of frustration going on, especially on the Husky sideline, as things kind of spiraled out of control fairly quickly. At the same time, Fullerton grabbing full control of this game.
So it's going to be a personal foul on the defense, automatic first down.
You know, Mark, you mentioned before about Fullerton getting chirpy before the half. You know, you don't want to see it, but unfortunately, it is an unfortunate byproduct of how the game has transpired since that midway through the second quarter.
Yeah, and people like to talk, and as much as we love Fullerton College too, besides East LA, it's something that you'll hear a lot from these young players on either team.
So first and goal from the 8, penalty flags will fly. It's going to be a delay game on the Hornets. It's going to back them up a couple yards. Eight minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the third quarter.
You know, looking at these halftime stats, Huskies actually won the time of possession 18-31, 11-29 in that first half. The numbers they do skew in favor of Fullerton, but not to the level that you would think looking at the scoreboard. 250, total yards, 255 for Fullerton versus 186 for ELAC, and more flags on the field.
So it's going to be another delay of game on the Hornets, although I think there was some miscommunication of the play clock, but this is still going to go against the Hornets and might be an escape favorable call for East LA here. So first and 18 on the 18. Sheerholtz with the keeper, short gain.
And if you watch this Hornet team enough, when Sheerholtz is in there, he is a run-first quarterback, a passing quarterback second. Lunsberg, it's flip side.
So second and goal from the 13. Fakes the handoff, pass to the right side. Target is to number 8, and that is a Hornet touchdown. Logan Lester finding the end zone.
That's actually an impressive catch, given that he was fairly well covered. It's just that the defender was looking at the receiver, didn't see the ball, so he didn't see where the ball was coming in at, and the receiver made that kind of one-hand haul in against his body, kept it held up against him going down, and he gets the touchdown for Fullerton.
So 40-7 is our score, pending the extra point. Kick is up, and kick is good. Second extra point the Hornets have made tonight. They've taken a commanding lead over East LA with 7:27 to go here in the third quarter. East LA about to get the ball back, have yet to produce any offense outside of their touchdown back in the first quarter.
Logan Lester, I was just going to mention, that's his 4th touchdown of the season for the Hornets. He's always been a big play person. Walked in this game averaging 60 yards per game when you looked at him, 161 overall. So if you're a Hornet fan, this is one of the players you need to get involved if you want to win the conference championship.
And for the Huskies, you know, we were talking in the first quarter, particularly first quarter, how Fullerton, even though they had the lead, they were still making mistakes, missing extra points, leaving the door open for ELAC. But it seemed like from about midway through the second quarter on, it was the Huskies reversed. Instead of taking advantage of it, they went backwards. They left the door open too many times for Fullerton with penalties. You're talking about the pass interference, holding calls, and then with defensive miscues, allowing Fullerton to score even when they are a third and long situation. So, you know, the momentum is can be a fickle thing. And Huskies had opportunities to kind of rest it when the game was, you know, afoot. And now it just seems like Fullerton is, has taken really full control.
So great return there by number 3, Jaden Thomas of East LA. Will start the Huskies off at the 35-yard line here with 7:20 to go in the third quarter. We'll see if Logan Ebnett and the offense can try to convert some first downs and find themselves into the end zone. They've only done it once so far today, but we certainly know they're capable of scoring more. They've just run into some very bad luck consistently throughout this game. Valencia in at QB takes a sack. Loss of 3. Penalty flags fly on the play.
So David Johnson Jr. got in there to make the play for the Hornets. Gives him 1.5 tackle for losses this season.
So
you
play
add
will be
one
negated
sack.
there, Mark. The penalty was offsides on the defense.
That's how you get to the quarterback quicker.
Interestingly enough, Fullerton has not punted yet.
So 1st and 5. They'll run it up the middle. Good for a first down. Handoff was to Bernardo Blanco.
And Albert, Blanco averages 45 yards per game when you look at him. When he touches the football, you got to love the way this kid runs with the ball for your ELAC team.
He's definitely an excellent substitution for when Bozeman needs a little respite from his carry workload.
He's a change of pace, but he's a change of pace backward size, 5'10", 210. You mentioned the 45.5 yards a game. He's got 91 yards on 8 rushes, so he only touches the ball maybe a handful times a game, but he makes it count and then some.
In motion, number 17 will get tackled for a loss. That handoff was to Jonas Lilpaz. And we got some extracurriculars at about the 50-yard line. Flags will fly.
Lil Paz was looking for the end around. It seemed like maybe, the defense did have a beat on it, but, maybe you could have asked them to kind of try to run a little harder to the sidelines before making his turn. It looks like you saw the defenders coming at him and maybe got a little nervous and ended up getting swallowed up. We got to see what these flags are.
It's going to be a personal foul on the offense. And that's going to back up the Huskies even more.
There's a lot of freshmen on this Huskies team. As you've been doing community college football for a long time, you know that a lot of games do tend to be filled with penalties. But what I make the point about the freshmen is that, the emotions, especially in a game like this where you know things have gotten away from you and you're angry about it, and instead of trying to channel it into your play, you're doing too much after the whistle.
Pass is to number 11. It's going to be complete. That was to Victor Rodriguez. And another penalty flag will fly.
So
It's going to be a dead ball foul. We'll see what it is.
We're hearing some background chatter about maybe players from ELAC being mad. It did look like the tackle, the first man to reach him, kind of held him up, and then a horde of Hornets just polished him off. It's not the type of tackle, abuse that you want to suffer.
And it's going to be another personal foul, Cerwin, on the offense. So a really bad sequence of events for East LA. And it's really not what you want to see, even though this game is turning into a blowout in favor of Fullerton. You still want to try to keep your composure.
And that's what I was talking about, having a lot of freshmen on the team. Composure is it's not something that – it's hard to get teams with good composure on at this level anyway, but a freshman-laden team, even harder.
They'll go with a handoff, breaks one tackle and another for some decent gain. but it's still going to be 4th and forever, so East LA will punt it away.
So because I kind of hopped on after the second half started, I'm noticing that Brandon Valencia has been behind center. I wonder what's going on with Ebdet. Maybe they feel the game's gotten too far out of hand to keep him in there, or
it seems logical that they would just want to protect him, knowing the game is as out of hand as it is. And Fullerton going to return this one. No defenders in sight. Easy punt return for 6.
And you know, as a Husky, this is when things really go downhill, but not just that. You know, you get dispirited because you look at these types of plays and you're wondering if the body, you look at the body language. I see the players kind of sulking off the field there, like you don't want to say that spiritually that someone give up. We never want to say that, but it does look like from the body language, from the there seems to be a drop of spirit and a drop of energy on the Husky side of the field because of what's going on, and that really manifested itself in kind of a bit of a short punt, and the punt went fielded directly by the punt returner, and really just a dominant punt return for touchdown by Fullerton.
It's simply an easy return for number 36, Mark Esley. The Husky defense just seemed to give up on that defensive return.
And I noted earlier that the Huskies punt kick return teams have had issues early on in the season. I don't think that necessarily was the biggest culprit in that punt return for a touchdown there, but they have had issues.
Yeah, we'll give it to Mark Esley II for doing it, and again, when he first caught it, Albert, and he turned around, I thought, oops, that's a mistake.
Yep.
And then he found the gap, and then there was nothing but white jerseys that said, hey, we're painting the white wall over here. And he followed them in. So after the catch, it was a textbook return.
Yeah, he made that little spin move, saw a pack of Huskies, somehow broke left, found open field. Just made it easy. There's only one Husky in the vicinity, and I think it was Sean Lawson who was close, but he got blocked off, and then Esley into the end zone. Easy 6 for Fullerton. So a little squib kick for Fullerton. East LA will return it. And he's going to be eaten up in the backfield. Flags will fly at about the 40-yard line, so about 15 yards away from where the kick was received. We'll see what the call on the field is. My guess, probably a block in the back. So personal foul on the offense. And that, unfortunately, is going to back up East LA yet again. Correction, it's actually on the defense. Hooray! Not to sound too much of a homer. But
that's kind of a sarcastic hooray. I can't say
a little bit, yeah. It's like, oh, cool.
Homerism.
Congratulations, you finally didn't make a penalty.
Wasn't what I would call a homerism type of hooray.
That's fair. I mean, I try. Go the handoff up the middle. Victor Rodriguez with the carry.
Yeah, Albert, you got to get that Rashawn Haylock. Oh, it's another flag on us attitude. When he used to call Golden West College here on sportsnetusa.net.
I love Rashawn. He's great. So Valencia's still in at quarterback for East LA. He'll hand it off. As we get some positive yardage here for East LA. Third and short coming up.
.3:19 left to go in this third quarter. Fast-moving quarter, Albert.
Valencia throws up the middle and just out of the reach of Rodriguez. 4th and short, and on will come the punting unit.
And I know fans will say, hey, at this stage of the game, why don't we go for it? You've got to keep doing a routine that everybody's used to. You've got to work on it for future games. You can't just say, oh, we're losing, we'll throw out the game plan. That doesn't help the players. It doesn't help the coaching staff. And then everybody watching your team, you'll say, what's wrong with them?
High snap, but they get the kick off in time. Ball will land at the 30 and take a Fullerton bounce and be downed at the 40-yard line.
You know, Mark, you're absolutely right. Not only that, but even in a game with a blowout game that's not in your favor. Okay, like we mentioned, Ebnet is out. Now you got Brendan Valencia in, who's a backup. Hey, you get some game tape on him. Let's see what he can do running the offense. You got some other guys now that are backups that are coming there in the game. Now these guys all have opportunities to get some game tape on them, see what they can do in a game live situation instead of practice. Maybe they can do something productive. Maybe they can do something impressive. It might not change the score much, but it gets tape on them. Again, we're trying to, these are young men that are trying to get to the next level, the 4-year level, and these opportunities are their best opportunities.
Here's a snap. Sherholtz with the ball, throws to the left side, incomplete. Pass was dropped and intended for number 82, Luke Indorf.
And the other thing, let's go one thing. Some kid who never gets to play walks on the field now and does something spectacular for the next 2 minutes in the fourth quarter, and you go, where'd he come from? That could be the superstar for ELAC in the future that you may never have seen if he didn't get this chance.
2nd and 10.
And a sack.
They fake the handoff. It's going to be a sack for East LA.
Is that 49 that came around?
Looks like that was number 44, Jonathan Bernal.
Bernal.
ELAC took their start the end, number 19 out the game.
So 3rd and 14 coming up for Fullerton. Sherholtz in at quarterback. So Lunsberg getting the break for the Hornets. Sherholtz hit.
Good pressure. Looks like a kind of a corner blitz there.
And there is a penalty flag that flew along the line of scrimmage from the line judge.
91.
I mean, Nasir Reed put the pressure on him, but he kind of.
So a false start on Fullerton's going to back him up 5 yards.
No, they're going to. I think they're going to.
They decline that?
Yeah, they decline it because it'll be 4th down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be 4th down now, even though they haven't changed the down marker. Yeah, there it is. Now it's 4th down.
Here's a snap. Kick is away. It's going to be a little short. And going to be returned to the 45-yard line. We got a Husky down on the field at the Fullerton 40, but he'll pop up. Looks like he was trying to draw a flag, but he's not going to get the call.
One of your production partners asked me in the background, was that Fullerton's first punt? And the answer is yes, that was their first punt. 1:49 left all the way into the third quarter.
That just shows you what kind of game it's been.
I was thinking about that. It's weird because I'm looking at the halftime stats. Of course, Fullerton getting punt. We got a holding call.
So it's going to be a holding on the kicking team.
Okay, now they're going to mark the 10 yards from the spot. So the Huskies will be in a situation that unfortunately have not been in enough in, which is in Fullerton's territory. But Fullerton, they didn't punt in the first half, and up until about halfway through the second quarter, you would not have thought that them not punting, you wouldn't think it would have any indicative of how the game was going necessarily, because the Huskies were still in it. You still talking about back when they were down only 18-7. But that's where those interceptions came in. And another reason why, it'd be hard, maybe if you have the reasoning that you pull Ebnet, hey, you can't really say he's had a good game. His completion percentage is not bad. He was 12 of 19 in that first half for 101 yards, but that was 3 interceptions.
I looked at 2 quick scores. Mount Sac lost tonight.
Ooh.
Citrus. Oh, they did and they won? Oh, okay. Corey's told me the game was over. So that's why I said, come on, Corey. I said, was that a final to you?
Corey,
was
I
asking
got
if it was-
excited for a second.
So did I. I said, is it a final? You know what? This is age. It happens to all of us.
Pass over the middle, incomplete, knocked down by number 36 for Fullerton. Yeah, Corey, almost got excited. Look. Well,
It's still an impressive score. I'm looking at it right now.
Citrus up by 12 in the fourth quarter on Mount Sac. A barn
So
burner.
48-36, Mount Sac on the road at Citrus with 9 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. So not over by any means, but impressive that Citrus is up over Mount Sac.
The Owls playing well.
Beating Mount Sac in a lot of instances is kind of a moment of pride because of their excellence and how well they do in a lot of their sports. So for Citrus to be able to beat, especially in that score, hanging 48 on a Mount Sac defense.
Yeah, especially since Mount Sac is ranked number 2 in the state of California right now in football.
Sheesh.
So we got a great carry there by number 5, Eric Stubbs.
But the OC score was right. Cerritos against OCC, is that a final? Almost a final. Cerritos 63-0 last time I looked. That's Fullerton's next opponent, Orange Coast College.
Valencia pass to the left side, trying to find Alexander, incomplete.
That game will be at home, knowing that many of the Fullerton fans are watching tonight's game, so make sure you come out there next week.
So the offense will stay on the field here for this 4th and 6 on the Fullerton 42 with a minute to go here in the third. Valencia pass looks like it was deflected. They were trying to get it into the hands of Damari Taylor. So pass is going to be incomplete, and it's going to go for a turnover on downs. And here's a little fun fact for y'all. So Bernardo Blanco, Bo Thomas, a.k.a. James Thomas III, nicknamed Bo, and Jaden Thomas, they're all cousins.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
That is something.
Yeah, they cousins.
How'd you find out?
YouTube chat.
Oh, okay.
Looking right now, plenty of fans of the Huskies and probably all of Fullerton as well, getting active in the comments.
I appreciate the activeness in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate the engagement.
Should have said, hey, this is my deep research that I do.
It is my research. I mean, I
You're crack-
had to go to the YouTube chat to figure that out.
Your crack research team.
Yeah. I mean, I could have just as easily had gone to the side and asked, hey, is that your cousin?
That's true.
Albert's so honest.
So timeout called by the Hornets. 2 timeouts remaining for the Hornets here in the second half with 57 seconds to go in the third.
And Albert will keep an eye on that Citrus game. This would be an incredible upset if Citrus wins that game.
Yeah, I've already got the live stats pulled up for that one. And it's going to be tight. 6 minutes left in that game of the fourth quarter. Citrus does have the ball. 2 timeouts apiece for either team. Pass to the left side for Fullerton for a short gain. In at quarterback for the Hornets now is Corin Rinders. Reinders. Thank you, Corey Nalen. So Reinders will hand it off. Should be almost good for a first down, but going to be short, just shy. Handoff was to number 34, Dominic Ancic.
It looks like Huskies
Learning some pronunciations on the fly.
Whistles blown. Huskies were late to get in the defensive alignment. But play was blown dead. Now to restart.
So 3rd and 1.
Short one.
And they'll just let the play clock wind down to 0. And we'll go on to the 4th and final quarter of play.
So the Hornets having a nice walk in the park tonight as they're up by 41, and it's been a one-sided game, to say the least, so far in this game. But at the same time, you're watching a young program, a new program with a lot of freshmen come in here for football. I asked Albert what he thought about the team. I'm going to ask you, because you've been around the program for a longer time than Albert. When you look at this season, how do you view it as being somebody who works here, but also being a loyal person to this team?
Well, that's an excellent question. You know, like I mentioned, like we were talking about earlier, how Coach Godinez came to retake control, being head coach of the team. That it wasn't what was drawn up going into the offseason, but with Arnie Robles, like we mentioned before, he got that opportunity, that golden opportunity at Northern Illinois. These are all players that Arnie recruited. Now, of course, there's the one advantage that Bobby Godinez has is that because he's the boss, he's aware of the players who Coach Robles recruited, so the players are not unfamiliar with him. But again, it's still Robles' recruiting class and not Coach Godinez' class. So there's that, you know. So you're kind of working, you know, not kind of coming into the season. You really don't know what you're going to get. There's a bad snap, and the Huskies will recover, and they're going to take the ball. Is that David Chukwuemeka? Yes,
that is indeed David Chukwuemeka with the fumble recovery for a Husky touchdown.
Chukwuemeka, who's been getting offers all over and offers and attention all over the place from all aspects of high-level D1 schools. Can't say exactly who, but it's been, you know, we have a few that's been reported on Twitter. He's been getting major offers, and this is his 3rd game playing of organized football ever. He was a basketball player last season in the UC system, past 2 seasons.
And we've got a flag on the play.
It's like after the
touchdown.
After
the touchdown.
And it looked like Corin Reinders tried to stop him. He just kind of gets bowled over. He's like, oh, well, there goes that idea. So that penalty will have the yardage assessed after the kickoff, pending this point after.
This is what happens. Power of positive thinking. You were listening to how the program's going, and what did they do? They scored a touchdown.
While we're looking at this extra point, I'm looking at this Mount Sac Citrus live stat and the live stats. And I'm looking at the name of their quarterback, Mount Sac's quarterback, and that name sounds really familiar.
Oh, Dante Bell? Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that sounds really familiar. Sure enough, he is a former Husky.
They played 2 seasons ago.
Yep, that was part of the, actually last year, in fact, Dante Bell.
So extra point is good for East LA. 48-14 our score.
He had 7 touchdowns on the season against 6 interceptions. Not the greatest of completion percentages, but, was a gamer, definitely a gamer. And he finds himself as quarterback for Mount Sac now. So good on him. Well, even though, to be fair, I I don't really have much love for Mount Sac. But, I can say that I'm the ELAC SID. I could be partial. But no, I'm teasing, guys. I'm teasing. We have love for all our conference mates. I'm teasing. I mean, actually, if I were gonna, in terms of schools kind of up on our hit list, Mount Sac wouldn't even be number 1 right now. I won't tell you who's number 1, but they are a conference mates. Just
this is live, right?
Of course, I'm teasing. I'm being partial. I'm being a little partial here, but no, we enjoy all the competition from all of our conference mates.
And I try to be conscious of being a homer.
Very good, Albert. I like homers.
Harlem Harris, with the return, takes it to the 50 and into Husky territory.
All the reason why I feel like I can talk a little, just a little, not a lot, a little smack about Mount Sac because it is the alma mater of one athletic director, Bobby Godinez.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a positive statement. Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go, Albert. Being positive again. Yeah, okay, great.
I am full of positivity.
Oh, okay.
No, Albert is
everywhere
always,
I go.
Albert is always full of positivity. If anyone ends up being a little saucy in the periods of time where me and Albert have done games together.
Reinders tries to find a target on the right hash. Pass going to fall incomplete. Looks like he was trying to hit Desmond Duffy.
If anyone has been a little saucy, it's been me because, again, I kind of fall on being impartially partial.
Yeah. I mean, what do I know? I just work here.
Yeah.
Reinders, hands off, meets a pack, and who else could it be but number 91, David Chukwumeka, with the tackle for a loss. Just kind of threw him down.
Yeah, he just got a hold of
Luckily, didn't stand over him. Otherwise, that could have been another penalty.
Yeah,
He's kind of let it be. Throw it down. Let the work speak for itself.
Yeah, especially when the score is this lopsided, you don't need to do the extracurriculars as you say. Just make the tackle, make the play, and then reset for the next down.
So 3rd and 13. Reinders still in at QB for Fullerton. Gets it off to number 45, complete and taken out of bounds. Mike Taff with the catch and run.
And Roberto Sabalos on the tackle. Sophomore linebacker out of Cantwell Sacred Heart. Sabalos has kind of like that, a little bit of the Zach Camarena ability that he has a nose for the ball defensively. He can get himself, you'll find himself in the middle of tackle, especially if there's a run and a stop in the middle of the line. It's usually him having a hand in things. The punt's off. Huskies will let it bounce. It takes a Fullerton bounce. Oh, it's going to take the punt, field it, spun around 3 times before he's brought down to the ground.
So Rodriguez doing his best to try to make a positive return, but really wasn't going to make much of it as he just gets swarmed by some Hornet defenders, marked down officially on the 12-yard line.
And, you appreciate the fact that, the ball kind of bounced, took a bit of a Husky bounce, that last bounce.
Bit of a high hop.
Yeah, a bit of high hop. You probably, and most times you think it'd be safer for him to just let it go. But with the score the way it is, listen, why not try and make something out of nothing here? So you can applaud the effort.
Alexander goes in motion. Here's the snap. Pass is deep to the left side. And unfortunately, he was trying to hit Boza, but he gets tripped up in the turf and goes to the ground, and pass just goes flying over his head. Would have been a great play.
I actually thought it was a good pass. It looked like for a minute he was open.
It was great. He was open and just gets tripped up in the turf.
Like he thought he was taking a bad angle to the ball, so he tried to turn around at the last minute and just tripped himself up.
Ebnett back in at QB. They'll hand it off.
Hard hit at the end of that run.
That's a solid gain of about 6 or 7 yards. Now Stubbs with the carry, so 3rd and short coming up for East LA. Ebnick gets the snap, hands it off to Stubbs. Gain of about 1, so 4th and short coming up. We'll see if East LA will try to convert the 4th down.
Mark, you mentioned in the 3rd quarter about not just why a team would not just kind of just wing it and throw on every down, being down big. And we've seen the playmaking of this defensive backfield for Fullerton. You don't want to be in a position where they get kind of just pin their ears back and they know what's coming. They've shown that they've been able to make big plays against the Huskies' passing attack. So another reason why you want to keep it honest with a mix of run and pass.
Yeah, and you want your defensive back, especially if you're Phil Austin or anybody else over on that side, to work on the fundamentals. So you don't say, okay, hey, try and jump the pass, but at the same time you don't say, give them the pass so they'll get 7 yards. So again, when you get these games and people look at it and they call it a laugher, which I'm looking at somebody do a snow angel on the far side of the field here by the goalpost. I wasn't quite sure who that was out there.
I don't know. He's wearing, it looks like a young kid wearing yellow and blue in his uniform.
So that was an official's timeout for a measurement, and East LA will be short. And we do have an update in the Mount Sac Citrus game. Mount Sac did find the end zone, so now it's 48-43, still in favor of Citrus.
Looks like
and
Citrus,
a little over 2 minutes to go.
And Citrus has the ball, 3rd and 4 on the Mount Sac 45.
Big hit. Ball is fumbled, but they're going to rule that Stubbs was down before the ball popped out.
So Brian Crook's defense, no matter what you've got out there, your 1s, your 2s, or even your 3s tonight, or maybe your 4s, have played Brian Crook's defense. I know in the first game, Fullerton fans sort of went, uh-oh, it's going to be a long season.
And Stubbs is injured on the field, so we're going to have an official's timeout. We'll step away as the trainers attend to the injured player. You're watching Husky football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. So we're back here live from Weingart Stadium. We're watching Husky football on SportsNetUSA.net. I'm Albert Robles, Mark Pavlovich, and Cerwin D. Haynes with me here in the booth for all the action. So Stubbs able to walk off the field under his own power. So a little positive news there on the injury.
Unfortunately, it was ruled a fumble and recovery in favor of Fullerton. So
Either way, it was going to be a turnover on downs.
Yeah.
But, if anything, it's kind of better that they fumbled it where they did because it actually makes it further away from where Fullerton would have been had it been a turnover on downs.
That ball actually went through the hands of both the defender there and the receiver. Good coverage there by ELAC. By the way, you guys are watching that Mount Sac Citrus game. Mount Sac has the ball now, 1:58 left. They got the ball at the 12, so they got to go the full length of the field. They got to go 88 yards to take the lead.
So Ansich comes in at running back, runs up the middle, and will be stopped short of the goal line. So almost a touchdown run.
I think his feet was in the end zone, but when he went down, but the ball wasn't. They're right at the goal line, close to the goal line. First and goal from the 1.
So Ansich will come off the field. Actually, no, Ansich is still on. A different player is getting subbed out. So Ansich and Taff lined up in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff to Taff. Tries to do a jump over the goal line, but is stopped short. And who else but number 91, David Chukwumeka, with the big stop.
Despite the score, Chukwumeka has had some highlight plays. One thing I'm liking, though, that he's making plays in the run game, not just, with sacking the quarterback. He's making plays and stopping the run. So this speaks well to his development as a defensive end.
They'll go back to Taff, who breaks the barrier and finds the end zone for a Hornet touchdown. See, I said that was some excitement.
There you go. I like that.
Oh, Mount Sac's threatening Albert and Mark. Let's see. They got the ball. They started the ball at the 12. They hit Ante Bell, the former Husky, hits a 41-yard pass to Aiden Leyland to get it to the Citrus territory. And
14, not 41. I'm looking at it.
41 yards.
Oh yeah. That was a previous play. I'm ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're a little beyond where I'm at. I was trying to go slow here. Then he hit another pass for 8 yards, and then another pass for 14 yards. He's cooking right now, as Mount Sac has second and 10 at Citrus's 25-yard line with a minute left. Plenty of time for Mount Sac to come back and take the lead late, and put my foot in my mouth.
And that really would be an impressive resurgence for the Mounties on the road at Citrus College. And I definitely did not win today's raffle. Maybe I should have bought a ticket.
Well, don't worry. The vendors will still be out there by the time well, I know it takes you a minute to pack up after we're done. But the vendors will still be out there.
You're the SID. You can't just throw me a bone and say, oh, hey, our broadcaster won.
Well, there's a few elements of this game day experience.
Can't stuff the ballot box?
No, there's a few elements of this game day experience that we don't control. And the 50-50 raffle, which is held by ELAC Cheer, Squad, is not one that we have influence on. So, no, I cannot stuff the box. I'm sorry, Albert. Still love you, though.
I mean, you could.
Oh, and a fumble on the kickoff return. Did Fullerton get it before it went out of bounds? No.
It wasn't a fumble. It was a muffed return. Didn't even catch it. Husky did touch the ball, but it goes out of bounds before Fullerton could recover.
You're right. It was a muff. It looked fumble-ish because he did reach down to catch the ball, and it bounced off his hand or his leg, and it went forward. But you're right. It was a muff. And Huskies were fortunate that it went out of bounds before Fullerton could recover it. So Huskies will come back on the field. Ebnet is back.
I was about to say that QB change again. They put back.
So Ebnet was in at QB on the previous possession for East LA. Here is the snap. They'll fake the handoff. Passes to the left side, in and out of the hands of Damari Taylor.
All right, so still watching this Citrus Mount Sac. 3rd and 6. Dante Bell's pass is incomplete. So 4th down at the Citrus 10-yard line. And there's a flag on the play here. Fourth and 6 from Mount Sac.
So it's going to be a false start on East LA.
19 seconds left in the game. I'm sure there's not a. I'm sure everybody in that stadium must be nervous one way or another.
So 2nd and long for East LA. Quick fire. They get it to Rodriguez. Breaks around and through a tackle and knocked out of bounds at the 42. 9 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. East LA has all of their timeouts remaining.
You know,
Down by 41.
Jonathan Alexander is usually a good target for Ebnet. So is Damari Taylor. They both had big games last week. But Victor Rodriguez is a guy that, you know, sometimes just you look up and he's peeling off a bunch of catch passes and moving the chains. So he's
been making his presence known in this game so far. And there's a completion to Damari Taylor. That's his, I believe, first catch of the game. He's been targeted a few times, but definitely successful there as that will move the chains. So here's a snap. They'll fake the handoff. Ebnet runs right, finds Rodriguez, breaks one tackle. Can't break the second, but he'll have a gain of about 4 yards, and East LA breaks through into Hornet territory.
Again, you know, he took something that wasn't much there, but he got 4 yards, and he made a little bit of something out of it.
2nd and 6, 7:20 left on the clock, and it is running. East LA has all of their timeouts remaining, though. Here's a snap. They'll throw it, and just a little bit beyond the outstretched arms of Victor Rodriguez. Had he caught that, would have been a first down. And Mark, Dante Bell intercepted by Elijah Ibanez of Citrus College with 19 seconds remaining. So it's Citrus ball with 14 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. All you got to do is take a kneel on, and Citrus will have the upset. Ebnet takes a snap, throws to the right. Alexander, complete! Husky touchdown! And let's take a look at this one, Mark. It is beautiful on the replay.
Kind of wait for this type of pass all day from Ebnet. I mentioned that Alexander is one of his favorite receivers.
And credit there to Mr. Mark Pavlovich for capturing that beautiful touchdown arc from Ebnet to Jonathan Alexander. So 55-20 our score pending the point after. Here's the kick. Kick is up. And kick is good.
Mentioned about Huskies having big playability. Unfortunately, they haven't done enough of it tonight, but they do have big playability. Last week in Santa Ana, Alexander hauled in a 58-yard catch and run at a critical juncture in that game to help the Huskies establish a lead. And I believe it was that 58-yard catch was in the first half. But Alexander, more than capable, a talented pass catcher.
They should just do that every play.
He should.
I agree. Hey, they got time.
I mean, they made it look pretty easy.
They only need, let's see, 5 more.
Yeah. Hey, it's 6:52. You got all your timeouts. Just,
Just
go
even.
for an onside. See what happens. Get fun with it.
Hey, look at what Citrus did. They beat the number 2 team in the state of California, knocking off Mount Sac tonight.
Anything can happen.
Yep.
Corey disagrees.
Kind of shanked that kick. Oh, man, that was just a poor kickoff.
Just because anything can happen, Corey, doesn't mean it will. Don't lose the positivity.
Yeah, think how big of a win that is for Citrus.
The Owls, yeah.
Who?
Citrus
Ha,
Owls.
ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, exactly.
Cerwin gets it.
So does Greg Schulz, the president chancellor over there with Citrus.
Yeah, they got to be
Reinders
Cloud 9 right now.
breaks right, fires it away, finds his man. Good for a first down and then some, brought down at the 34. That was number 87, Fox Haugen, with the catch and run. First time we've called his name tonight. Reinders will hand it off to number 34, and he'll run out of bounds. Just shy of the first down. Second and 3 for the Hornets. Ball is on the Husky 27-yard line. They'll hand it off again. He breaks free for a first down, brought down at the 11. Those Dominic Ansich. To hand it off again, leaps over his own teammate and knocked down at the 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. He kind of leapt over the line, both offensive and defensive line colliding, and both sets of linemen trying to get low. Low man wins, but in that case, the high man won because number 34 went high and got 5 on that.
And Ansich finds the end zone, but the penalty flag does fly. We'll see if that gets brought back.
Right at the corner, before he turned that corner to get into the end zone, the flags came in.
So holding on the offense, so that will negate the touchdown. And that will back up the Hornets a little bit. So second and 22. And they'll try and push the running back forward a little bit, but still a positive gain for the Hornets. And another run up the middle for the Hornets. Looks like it is good enough for the first down, or maybe it's just shy. Yeah, it's just going to be a little bit short.
We got I don't know why I'm seeing this down, but I got a recruiting list here. Same as 2 weeks ago, we had a lot of high school recruits here from ELAC, and although the list, I was told that the size it wasn't as sizable as this week as it was last week, as Fullerton gets stopped before the goal line. But we do want to shout out the schools in which they have recruits come to this game today. There's a long list. I'll go over it real quick, Albert. Turnover on down, so the Huskies get the stop there.
Yeah, the handoff was to Ansich, and stopped just shy of the goal line.
Huskies want to welcome tonight. Hopefully they've enjoyed the game, enjoyed the experience of a collegiate game here at Weingart Stadium. Alhambra High School, Anaheim, Aquinas, Arcadia, Baldwin Park, Banning, Bell Gardens, Bellflower, Bernstein, Cal High, Cantwell Sacred Heart of Mary, Cathedral, Cerritos High, Diamond Ranch, Downey, Eagle Rock, El Monte, Franklin, Gabrielino, Ganesha, Gary, Garfield, of course right in our backyard, Glendora, Grand Terrace, Granada Hills, Hawkins, Highland, J. Sarah, La Mirada, La Serna, Laguna Hills, Lakewood.
Deep pass from Ebnett to number 12. It looks like he got the foot in bounds, and that is a catch complete. Cameron Jones with the first down catch. And a great job once again by Mark Pavlovich getting that play in picture. Absolutely beautiful. I got to throw you some compliments every now and then, Mark.
Yeah, you do. That's nice. My age, I'll take any of them.
Yeah.
Speaking of compliments, Mark, I want to thank you for your kind words in the first half about East LA College and our hospitality.
Well, you know, it's always, I've been here every time I've come here. It has been that, and never felt like I was a stranger walking on your campus. I felt like I belonged here, and to me, that's incredible because not all schools are like that when they meet you. And so it says a lot about you and the individuals you work with and the attitude of the administration on this campus. So to everyone who works here at East LA, it is a fine place for your children to come to get educated at and enjoy the lives of the early years of their college existence. So if you've got a chance, check out the school, meet the individuals, and see if this is the place for you.
Ebnett takes a snap, fakes the handoff, pass to the left side. It'll be complete, gets some yardage. It's going to get swarmed by a number of Hornet defenders. Should be a short gain of about 3.
You know, with any again with the combo, any department always starts at the top, right? So your leader, our leader, of course, athletic director Bobby Godinez, who's also the head coach, and the type of attitude and spirit that he likes to instill in terms not just with football but with all our sports in our department. And you know, thankfully, giving me the opportunity to kind of branch out and craft a strategy for game day operations where, you know, it's important for us to show and have that hospitality and be able to be welcoming. You know, we can, I crack jokes about Mount Sac and schools of the like because they are at the premier level in terms of facilities, in terms of prestige. We're trying to get there. We're not quite there yet, but we're working our way up towards that way. But having student athletes that want to grind with us, you know, we have this saying #run with the pack, and we believe in that mentality as we run as a team, we run all as one. That doesn't just not just our athletic staff, but our dedicated staffers across the board throughout all of ELAC on campus, classified staffers, you know, our faculty, our admin. So you know, we believe in that, and us extending our welcome and making everyone feel home as part of our belief system.
So East LA on third down. Ebnett. He'll keep it. Flag flies in the backfield, knocked out of bounds at the 42. That would be a first down if the play stands, but a flag does fly. 2 flags, one in the backfield and a late flag fly. Could be a late hit on the quarterback going to the sidelines, but we'll see if those offset or if the penalty will go against East LA.
Again, it's unfortunate that is happening this late in the game with the score the way it is. But you like this when your quarterback can show some fire, particularly if he decides to tuck the ball and run and kind of deliver a bit of a lick at the end of that personal foul against ELAC.
So there were 2 personal fouls. First was declined, second was accepted.
It looks like they both were on the Huskies. But, plays like that can help fire up a team, too. They see your quarterback taking the ball and putting his helmet down and hitting the defender and making a good hit for some positive yardage. Unfortunately, the personal foul call has wiped that out. But, again, wish the score was, wish it was a little earlier in the game before the score got to where it is now.
And East LA was not without their chances, just had a few plays and penalties not go their way. Ebnett scrambles right, fires deep. Pass was caught, but was it in bounds?
It looks like they're saying yes.
Field judge says yes. Pass is complete for a first down, knocked out of bounds at the 46.
Is that Cameron Jones again? He made a pass earlier on the near sideline for a first down.
And that was indeed Cameron Jones with the big first down catch.
What's up? What's up? 130. 130, 130, 130. Yes, 130.
So we'll just have to reset the clock. Shows 124, but it should be 130. Speaking of staffers, retired staffer Richie Rosales, 20 years here at ELAC, and he's been retired for a few years now, but he's been happy enough to come back and run out and continue to do our scoreboard clock.
Huskies will hand it off and runs into a big wall. It's going to be a tackle for a loss. Handoff was to number 34, Faronea. Jared Andrade in at running back. Ebnett fires deep. Picked off! And whistles blow. That was number 46 with the interception, Maki Connor.
You almost think that Connor baited Ebnett into making that throw, because first you saw the streaking wide receiver on the outside, and then Connor at the last minute comes into the scene, jumps up. No, that's mine. And now the Hornets, Ebnett's 4th interception on the night. And with 47 and a half seconds left, with a 34-point lead, you would think now that Fullerton will kneel on it.
It's just victory formation for the Hornets.
Yes, when you're on the winning side, it is the best formation in football.
And Mark, East LA able to put up 21 points on the day, which, by any other day would be fairly productive, but looking at the other side of the scoreboard, to give up those 55 points knowing you had so many other chances, it does hurt that much more knowing you actually were in reach at one point in time.
Again, this was an 18-7 game midway through the second quarter, and it just kind of the wheels just fell off for the Huskies, relative quick time. 2 touchdowns scored in those last few minutes in that second quarter, and basically Fullerton has had the momentum ever since.
And zeros are officially on the board. So final score here at Weingart Stadium. Hornets of Fullerton College victorious 55-21 over your East Los Angeles College Huskies. And next up on SportsNetUSA.net this week, on Tuesday, we're going to have some Saddleback College soccer for the men's team. That game will be live at 3 p.m. On Wednesday, we'll have some women's soccer over at Cypress College. That game, I believe, will be at 3 o'clock. They'll be facing the vicious Mounties of Mount San Antonio College. Friday, we'll have some more.
They're vicious.
Yeah,
And you guys were laughing at me, teasing them earlier. Oh, now they're vicious.
That's you. This is me. On Friday, we'll have some more volleyball for your women's team on the Huskies. That'll be Friday on the 26th. Game will be at 6 p.m. And on Friday, we'll have some Saddleback College football. That game will be at 6 p.m., all live on SportsNetUSA.net. I'm Albert Robles for Mark Pavlovich, Cerwin D. Haynes, SID, for your East Los Angeles College Huskies. You've been watching Husky football right here on SportsNetUSA.net.